Chapter 931. Who? Is there anyone I can't humiliate? Li Longyuan. Bah, let him come over. I'll beat him until he's looking for his teeth on the ground. Jiang Tian mocked. Li Longyuan. How can Li Longyuan be considered the #1 expert in this starry sky? Her face was full of mockery, and then she said harshly, "You're too ignorant." It's Bai Zhe. Demon King Bai Zhe, the famous Demon King Bai Zhe of Crimson Thunder Mountain. Him. Jiang Tian seemed to show a hint of surprise. Seeing Jiang Tian's cocky deadpan face finally change color, Chu Yunxiu seemed to have won a great victory. From beginning to end, Jiang Tian's face was always like an ancient well without a trace of panic, nervousness, anger, or fear. It was as if nothing in this world could move Jiang Tian. Even if the sky collapsed and the earth sank, even if the stars fell, it would not cause the slightest ripple in his heart. Chu Yunxiu thought carefully and felt that Jiang Tian was not a young man at all, but an old monster with a lifespan of 10,000 years. Now, Jiang Tian was finally afraid. Although he was not afraid of her, she was still very pleased with herself. You, Kang Te Chu, actually have times when you're afraid. I'm really surprised. You should have been afraid long ago. But you're too stupid. You killed his mount, the blue-eyed toad. Do you think he won't find trouble with you? Her gaze was sharp, her voice was cold, sonorous like the sound of a sword, powerful and resonant. Don't you know the news of Demon King Bai Zhe's reappearance? You know, but you underestimated your enemy too much, too arrogant. You didn't know how to run away, and still forcibly occupied my Jade Well Peak. You're courting death. Just a few days ago, after your battle with Fang Jingxiang, I secretly released one of Bai Zhe's subordinates that I captured at Jade Well Peak. Moreover, I had him return to Crimson Thunder Mountain to send a message that you were the murderer of the blue-eyed toad. Demon King Bai Zhe's follower just sent me a message. I'm now his disciple and servant girl. Moreover, Bai Zhe wants me to tell you to immediately hand Demon Cave Mountain over to him and submit to him. Then, go to Crimson Thunder Mountain to beg for forgiveness and await punishment. She seemed to have regained her long-lost sense of superiority, as if she was still the high and mighty miss of Jade Well Peak. You'd better treat me better. Treat you better? Jiang Tian said with a smile. Demon King Bai Zhe. I might need to be vigilant. But, I don't think I need to be afraid of you. Do you think that I won't dare to hit you just because you're a servant? Pa! Jiang Tian slapped her to the ground again. Chu Yunxiu fell to the ground, her face twitching violently. She was going crazy. She hated Jiang Tian to the core. He had never imagined that he would still be unable to suppress Jiang Tian with the name of Demon King Bai Zhe. He would still be humiliated by Jiang Tian. But, you've reminded me. Jiang Tian put his hands behind his back and smiled calmly. At this time, I don't need to make too many enemies. I'll send you to Demon King Bai Zhe with this set of star-crown feather coat and cloud-chasing shoes as compensation for killing his mount. Ha, you're still afraid, aren't you? You're afraid of my Demon King Bai Zhe. You're begging for mercy. Chu Yunxiu was stunned, then laughed maniacally. After all, he's the only demon above the Golden Core realm in this starry sky. 10 Li Longyuan, 100 of you, are no match for the Demon King. She was full of mockery and crazily belittled Jiang Tian. In front of him, you're like an ant that can't even withstand a single blow. He can kill you with a raise of his hand. Ha, you're afraid. You're finally afraid. He won't forgive you just because of this. I heard that he's very proud and likes to humiliate his opponents and make them lick his toes. Ha, I'm really looking forward to that scene. Ha, I, Kang Te Chu, have never been weaker than anyone in my life. Jiang Tian flung his sleeves and sneered. My original plan was to kill Li Longyuan and then fight with Demon King Bai Zhe. But since you said so, why should I wait any longer? I won't give you this set of Taoist robes and crown. I'll kill my way to Crimson Thunder Mountain and cut off his dog head. Don't. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you right now. Chu Yunxiu was shocked and hurriedly waved her hand. This set of star crown feather coat and cloud-chasing shoes had unfathomable abilities and was priceless. If she gave it to him, Demon King Baizhe would definitely like it and reward her handsomely. One had to know that great demon Baizhe had already gathered 100,000 demon soldiers under his command. There were as many experts and disciples as there were clouds. Now that she had joined them, she was just one of them who didn't reveal her true strength. Moreover, back then, the peaks of Demon Cave Mountain had fought many battles with the demon beasts on Crimson Thunder Mountain. The Chu family had killed many demon beasts. She was bound to be ostracized and suppressed by these demon beasts. Then she had to fight for his favor. She thought to herself. When the time came, she would say that she worked hard to make it. Demon King Master would definitely dote on her a lot. Then she would truly be able to stand firm. In order to prevent you from embezzling it and running away, Heavenly Man and Old Dragon, you two go with me and pass on my message to Demon King Baizhe, Jiang Tian instructed again. Yes. Yi Tianren and Old Dragon hurriedly answered. This little thief is really cunning. Chu Yunxiu was so angry that her teeth itched. But in the next moment, she changed her mind. It didn't matter. Yi Tianren was his disciple, and this black dog was actually a big dragon. It could be considered giving him a head and a mount. Master would definitely like it more. Just like that. Yi Tianren and Old Dragon put on the feather coat, star crown, and cloud-chasing shoes and rushed to Crimson Thunder Mountain with Chu Yunxiu. The next day, Jiang Tian had just finished his meditation. Ding Ling Dang, on the other hand, had disguised herself and secretly arrived at Jadewell Peak on a flying shuttle. She represented Ding Lai to discuss the next step with Jiang Tian. Immortal Master Jiang, you're really too domineering. One sword to break 10,000 soldiers, one sword to destroy a city. Ding Ling Dang was dressed neatly like a female thief. She tore off the black cloth covering her face and looked at Jiang Tian with excitement and admiration. Unfortunately, my father caught me and didn't let me come to help you. He was afraid that I would be exposed. Ding Ling Dang said bitterly, otherwise, as the one who experienced this battle, I would definitely be able to brag about it for the rest of my life. Jiang Tian looked at the map of the Heavenly Star's small world and said with a smile, City Lord Ding is right. Star Capital is right under the Heavenly Star Palace. Once it's exposed, your Ding family will be in great danger. Moreover, after I kill Li Longyuan, you still have to play an important role. You have to seize the dojo, detain the enemy, and pacify the civilians. It's not good to be exposed at this time. Immortal Master Jiang, are you really confident that you can kill Li Longyuan? Ding Lingdang's pretty face changed and she said worriedly, I'm here this time to convey my father's opinion. He thinks that we don't need to be too hasty. We should use the border city as our base, fight steadily, build high walls, accumulate food, and slowly become the king. After 10 years, we will gather tens of thousands of cultivators and destroy it in one fell swoop. What do you think? Jiang Tian said with a smile. Ding Lingdang was stunned and said in surprise, Immortal Master Jiang, are you asking me for my opinion? Yes. My opinion is, of course, to kill him without caring about anything else. Ding Lingdang was so proud that her face turned red with excitement. However, the next moment, she sighed and said, however, although it's fun, it's not very safe. Li Longyuan's cultivation is unfathomable. Ha, your father is experienced and prudent. This arrangement is not wrong. Jiang Tian stood up, paced around the hall, and said with a smile, however, he doesn't know what I'm capable of. He's just a golden core cultivator. What's there to be afraid of? Li Longyuan is nothing. I can kill him with a raise of my hand. Immortal Master Jiang, please think twice before you act. At the side, Jiang Haishan was shocked and hesitated to speak. It was already unbelievable that Jiang Tian could kill a fake core cultivator. However, he dared to face Li Longyuan directly. He didn't even take a golden core cultivator seriously. He was underestimating his enemy too much. Jiang Tian smiled but didn't say anything. At this moment, Ding Lingdang said with a troubled expression, "Immortal Master Jiang, I have a presumptuous request." "Speak. Can you not make things difficult for Lady Merciless Desire?" Ding Lingdang said anxiously with a pleading expression. "Lady Merciless Desire taught me cultivation before. Also, she hates evil. She's not a bad person." "Ha, I heard that she has already announced to the world that she wants to challenge me." Jiang Tian smiled and shook his head. His eyes flickered with a hint of murderous intent. Lady Merciless Desire really made people feel helpless. If one said that she was bad, she was definitely not an evil person. In fact, she was once the leader of the rebel army. However, perhaps because she hadn't been nourished by a man for a long time, her menopause symptoms had flared up. Her personality was too extreme and self-centered. Just because he rejected the marriage alliance with Fairy Miao Yi, she walked to the opposite side. "Immortal Master Jiang, I beg you, please show mercy." Sensing Jiang Tian's murderous intent, Ding Lingdang knelt on the ground and kowtowed as if she was pounding garlic. "She taught me swordsmanship and helped the Ding family defeat the enemy. The Ding family owes her a debt of gratitude. If you kill her, my father and I will be at a loss." It turned out that more than 10 years ago, when the Ding family was traveling, a certain sect took revenge on them. More than 10 late-stage Foundation establishment cultivators joined forces to kill them. At that time, Ding Lai was no match for them at all. Just as he was about to die, Lady Merciless Desire happened to pass by and helped, defeating the enemy with one strike. Since then, the Ding family and Heartless sect had a close relationship. Ding Lingdang even became Lady Merciless Desire's in-name disciple. "Immortal Master Jiang, if you don't agree, I won't get up. I'll keep kneeling." Ding Lingdang said anxiously with tears rolling down her cheeks. "Forget it, I won't argue with her. I won't fight with her. Get up." Jiang Tian pondered for a while and said indifferently. It didn't matter if Jiang Tian killed Lady Merciless Desire, but Ding Lai would become the laughingstock of the world. His benefactor had been killed by Jiang Tian. Not only did he not take revenge for his benefactor, but he even respected Jiang Tian. What kind of man was he? Besides, although Lady Merciless Desire had a strange temper, she wasn't a bad person. She was enemies with Jiang Tian because of personal grudges. She didn't have any conflicts with Jiang Tian, nor was she an evil person. "Thank you, Immortal Master Jiang." Ding Lingdang smiled through her tears. At this moment, a series of curses came from outside the door. "Kang Tae Chu, you're just fishing for fame. Come out and fight me if you have the guts." Although it was a woman's voice, it was like a thunderclap that shook the entire Jadewell Peak, causing the ground to tremble and the mountains to shake. Jiang Tian frowned. Ding Lingdang's expression also changed as she said with a trembling voice, "It's Lady Merciless Desire." Chapter 932. Don't show yourself. There are too many people around. Find a chance to sneak back to Star Capital. Jiang Tian smiled faintly, then rose into the air and arrived outside Jadewell Peak. Lady Desireless was standing on her flying sword and blocking the entrance of Jadewell Peak. She was so angry that her face was red and she was gritting her teeth. Not only was she here, but there were also thousands of cultivators on the other peaks watching. There were many sect masters and leaders of aristocratic families among them. Although she was alone, the number of powerful cultivators she had alarmed was no less than Fang Jingxiang's army at the border. "Kang Tae Chu, I heard that you're a pseudo-core cultivator. I won't be bullying you. Draw your sword." Lady Desireless heard countless people mocking and ridiculing her along the way. She couldn't help but be furious. When she saw that Jiang Tian was still at the second level of the Foundation establishment realm, she was so angry that her eyes turned red. "I won't fight you." Jiang Tian waved his hand and said. "You have to fight me." Lady Desireless glared and said hatefully. Because of you, I've won thousands of battles and been despised by the world. Today, I, Desolation, will let the world see whether I, Desolation, have misjudged you or not. Are you, Jiang Taichu, a fake core cultivator? Her voice was like a clap of thunder. Her monstrous battle array and the solemn dignity of a sect master were only higher than Fang Jingxiang's. I'm going to break your mask, you little thief. I want you to understand that you're still an ant, just a slightly bigger one. Her words were full of humiliation. In an instant, all the cultivators watching the battle became excited and looked up. Kang Taichu was so domineering. He defeated an army of 10,000 cultivators alone and destroyed a city with his sword. How could he tolerate Lady Desireless humiliating him like that? A great battle was about to break out. Okay. Then I'll fight you. Let's stop here. At this moment, Jiang Tian was also a little angry. He wouldn't kill her, but he could at least press her to the ground and rub her a few times, right? However, at this moment, Jiang Tian suddenly heard a voice in his mind. Master, this is bad. We're in trouble. If Bai Zhe turns against me, I can't beat him. Come save us. It was the old dragon sending a message to Jiang Tian through the soul-devouring sound-transmitting jade talisman that Jiang Tian had left on him. Don't be hasty. Fight while you retreat. I'll save you now. Jiang Tian frowned and hurriedly said, Miayu, let's not fight today. I still have things to do. I'll take my leave first. With that, Jiang Tian's figure turned into a stream of light, breaking through the air at an unparalleled speed. Just as Desire Extinguisher unleashed his sword, Jiang Tian's figure disappeared. She couldn't help but feel like she had punched cotton. Kang Taichu, are you making fun of me? Miayu took back his flying sword hatefully. He was so angry that his whole body trembled. You're running pretty fast. What kind of hero are you for running away at the last minute? Today, tell me in front of everyone, are you really at the second level of Foundation establishment? Did I misjudge you? Goddess Miayu's eyes are as sharp as torches. That's right, I'm at the second level of Foundation establishment. I'm the real deal. Jiang Tian's voice pierced through the clouds and mountains. But Desire Extinguisher, remember what I said today. You'll know my true strength sooner or later. My strength is not something you can compare to. It's not even something you can imagine. You'll also be grateful to me for running away at the last minute today. You won't embarrass yourself and can still live for a few more years. Bah! You shameless little thief. Desire Extinguisher was so angry that he scolded sternly. Then you also have to remember my words. You rely on secret techniques and pills to forcefully increase your combat strength. It's only temporary. You have to know that cultivation is the foundation in the fight for the great Tao. You're quite talented. If you cultivate for 100 years, you might have a chance to see the truth of the golden core. But you're too weak in this world full of powerful cultivators. You'll soon face a disaster. I advise you to hurry back to Earth. Everyone didn't hear Jiang Tian's reply again. They couldn't help but be stunned and couldn't believe it. What? Kang Taichu is really at the second level of Foundation establishment. Someone exclaimed. He admitted it himself. How can it be fake? A cultivator next to him interrupted. No matter what secret techniques, evil techniques, or pills he uses to increase his cultivation, it will eventually backfire on him. A wise man shook his head and sighed. Old man, look, Kang Taichu's dantian is lifeless and there's no energy fluctuation. He's already at the end of his rope. I'm afraid he can't hold on for much longer. Ha, even if he's really a fake core cultivator, he's not Li Longyuan's opponent, let alone an early-stage Foundation establishment cultivator. Not to mention that his dantian was damaged. A sect leader in the crowd said coldly, his eyes full of disdain. At the side, many sect leaders and family heads nodded in agreement, but they were very disappointed. The difference between a golden core cultivator and a Foundation establishment cultivator was like the difference between heaven and earth. A golden core overlord was already called a perfected immortal. The so-called immortal masters of the Foundation establishment level couldn't compare. That was just a title. As for the Sky Immortals, Earth Immortals and Human Immortals on Earth, that was just a classification on Earth. In fact, their power was equivalent to 3 levels of the early stage of the Foundation establishment level, which was a far cry from a Golden Core Overlord. A Golden Core Overlord could control the world and had unpredictable divine powers. They could turn land into rivers and move mountains. In many level 4 small worlds, a Golden Core Cultivator could dominate and control a realm. Even in some small cultivation planets in the universe, a Golden Core Cultivator was the supreme being and could control a planet. At first, everyone had a glimmer of hope for Jiang Tian when they came to watch the battle. They wanted to guess Jiang Tian's power and decide which side they were on. But now, it seemed that Jiang Tian was only at the 2nd level of the Foundation establishment level and was at the end of his life. How could he be Li Longyuan's opponent? Kang Taechu was just a human from Earth. It was impossible for him to break the old world and overthrow the Starry Sky Palace. Goddess Merciless Desire challenged Kang Taechu. Kang Taechu didn't dare to accept the challenge and ran away. Kang Taechu admitted that he's at the 2nd level of the Foundation establishment level. Many of Jiang Tian's original supporters woke up as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over them. What should we do? He's only at the 2nd level of the Foundation establishment level and used evil arts to increase his power. Madame Shi, the sect leader of the Snake Sect, froze as if she had been struck by lightning. She had high hopes for Jiang Tian at first. But now, those fantasies were like sand castles, smashed into smithereens by monstrous waves. I was too reckless after all. Master Yuan Jing, the head abbot of the Sanskrit temple, regretted it. He then walked toward Abbot Pudu of the demon-suppressing temple and bowed with his hands together. Master Pudu, since we're all disciples of the Buddhist sect, can you put in a good word for us in front of the Starry Sky Palace? We were all forced by Kang Taechu. Master Yuan Jing, don't be nervous. This battle won't happen. Abbot Pudu of the demon-suppressing temple, who was wearing a brocade cassock, suddenly stepped out of the crowd on a 5-colored golden lotus and chanted Buddha's name. Kang Taechu is extremely talented. It wasn't easy for him to cultivate, but his dantian and meridians were damaged because he took pills to increase his power. His power is about to dissipate. I'll help him treat his injuries. Master Pudu is really trying to save the world. He's actually going to help such a fiend. Someone looked at this senior monk and immediately revealed a look of admiration. The difference between the demon-suppressing temple and the Sanskrit temple was obvious. The Sanskrit temple only wanted to survive. On the other hand, the demon-suppressing temple was thinking for the world. As expected of one of the 3 major sects, the Holy Land of the Buddhist sect. Master Pudu slayed demons and defended the path of righteousness. He had once walked the world with Buddha's light. He cured the poor and advised people to do good, avoiding the countless killings and hatred in the world. In the entire Heavenly Star small world, Master Pudu's prestige was very high. He was a good person and a senior monk. Master Pudu, are you really going to treat his injuries? Won't that bring chaos to the star small world? Won't that make the world your enemy? Rumble. A tall and dignified figure stepped out, pushing out a monstrous wave of air that shook the heavens and the earth. This person's armor was bright, and his aura was vigorous. His white battle robe fluttered like a flag, and his aura was actually on par with Desireless. It was the Floating Spear City Lord, the Heavenly Star War God Shin Tej. At this moment, his handsome face was full of anger. He was obviously extremely dissatisfied with Master Pudu's actions. Behind Master Pudu's head, Golden Buddha's light formed a ring. He looked solemn and kind as he put his palms together and said unhurriedly, General Shen, I'll treat his injuries, but I also want to establish good karma with him. I'll persuade Kang Taechu to convert to the demon-suppressing temple and bury the hatchet with the Heavenly Star Palace. I'll help the people under the starry sky avoid conflict and disaster. Isn't this the best of both worlds? This Kang Tae-chu is really lucky. Master Pudu is willing to accept him as a disciple. His life will be saved. Master Pudu, aren't you afraid of offending the Heavenly Star Palace? Some experts were also a little worried. The demon-suppressing temple accepting Kang Tae-chu as a disciple was equivalent to protecting him. Li Longyuan and the Heavenly Star Palace would definitely be unhappy. Humph. Shin Tej flung his sleeves and sneered with killing intent. Master Pudu, I won't stop you if you're such a good person. However, if you don't distinguish between right and wrong, I'm afraid everyone in the Heavenly Star domain will hate you to the core. You have to consider this carefully. Yes, that Kang Tae-chu has always been shameless. Pudu, be careful of doing bad things with good intentions. Desireless also advised. How can everything in the world go according to one's wishes? I'm just doing good deeds. I don't care about the results. I just want to have a clear conscience. Master Pudu's face was solemn as he smiled. Master Pudu, the Buddhist doctrine is really boundless and merciful. You're indeed an eminent monk. I'm ashamed that my realm is far from yours. After this matter is over, I'll go to the demon-suppressing temple to study Buddhism for 10 years. I hope you won't refuse. The abbot of the Sanskrit temple, Yuan Jing, immediately looked ashamed. He bowed deeply to Master Pudu to show his greatest respect. Since I'm a believer of the Buddhist sect, I naturally have the world in my heart. Persuading people to do good is my unshirkable responsibility. Master Pudu sighed softly. He stepped on the 5-colored golden lotus and led many eminent monks, arhats, guardians, vajras, and disciples to chase after Jiang Tian. Chapter 933. Master, Kang Tae-chu is very powerful and murderous. I'm afraid he won't listen to your advice, much less convert to the demon suppression temple. Zen Master Deshin caught up to Pudu and whispered with a frown. Although he's talented, he's only at the second stage of the foundation establishment realm. His cultivation is low, and his dantian is lifeless. Do you think he dares to fight me? Master Pudu's splendid kasaya was surrounded by Buddhist light and auspicious clouds. He shook his head gently and snorted. Secondly, he has no other choice. Now, several big cities and many sects want to attack him. How can he hold on? Thirdly, I'm using the righteousness of the common people to pressure him. How can he dare to refute? Otherwise, he'll be despised by the world. So, with these 3 points, he won't dare to fall out with the demon suppression temple even if he has 100 guts. Master, back then, Jiang Taichu also saved this disciple. Can you not force him to do this? Zen Master Deshin looked helpless and could only persuade. What do you know? I'm working hard for the Demon Suppression Temple's 100-year plan and for the safety of the Stellar Sky domain. Master Pudu snorted and said unhappily. Jiang Tian had just flown to the Red Thunder Mountain when Xiao Yingluo followed him on the giant eagle. Big brother Jiang, I'll go with you. Okay. Xiao Bai, go back. Get on my flying sword. Jiang Tian raised his hand, and his vital essence burst out, taking Xiao Yingluo over. Then, he took her on his flying sword and flew as fast as lightning to the Red Thunder Mountain where the spirit energy tide was the fiercest. In this place, the Crimson Thunder Mountain was not as steep and precipitous as the 7 main peaks. However, it was still 10,000 meters high and 30 kilometers long. It was like a huge dragon lying on the ground, giving people a majestic and vigorous feeling. In the sky, the spirit energy miasma formed a huge vortex due to the gravity array and the imbalance of the spirit energy cycle, rolling endlessly. Endless majestic spirit energy and energy tore, collided, swallowed, and entangled, covering the sky and leaving a large shadow on the ground. Here, it was as if there was no boundary between day and night. Because of the unstable force field, the colorful clouds formed by the spirit energy and miasma erupted like tornadoes, forming enormous pillars of air that were thousands of meters tall. They rolled and spun non-stop, flowing between the mountain ridges, dissipating, and then condensing again. thousands of changes occurred in an instant. As the numerous air pillars violently rubbed against each other, they formed thick bolts of crimson lightning. Like a descending azure dragon, they bared their fangs and brandished their claws as they blasted towards the crimson lightning mountain. Torrential rain poured down, and the world was in chaos. Demonic plants that were rarely seen in the outside world could be found all over the endless mountains. Nourished by the miasma and spiritual energy, they had all grown to enormous sizes. Even a stalk of grass was taller than a person, and its edges were covered with chilling saw teeth. Under the illumination of the red lightning, it emitted a demonic glow. In the dense forest, the roars of demonic beasts could be heard, shaking people's skulls to the point that they felt like they were going to explode. Whoosh! Whoosh! A gigantic scaled bird flapped its 20-meter-long wings and soared into the sky. Between its claws, it grabbed a 30-meter-long python. Blood gushed out like a fountain. Such a storm of spiritual energy, such spiritual energy lightning, and such dangerous demonic beasts could be said to be the most dangerous place in the demonic cave mountain. The cultivators of the demonic cave mountain called it the Dark Absolute Prison. Even late Foundation establishment cultivators and battle-hardened bounty hunters did not dare to approach it easily. Even the Heavenly Star Palace rarely sent troops to attack it. Instead, they let the bandits and refugees of the demonic cave mountain serve as free cannon fodder. Swoosh! Under the crazy sky, two streaks of light, one black and one white, flashed across the dark mountain ridges, only to be struck by two even faster streaks of light. Pa! 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 Yi Tianren and the old dragon staggered and rolled on the ground. They looked at the two colossal beings and Chu Yunxiu who were slowly approaching them. Chu Yunxiu laughed proudly. Ha, you still want to run? You humiliated me again and again. Now you're done for. Blackie, I'm going to chop you into pieces and make a dog head hot pot. At this moment, the old dragon and Yi Tianren were not in good condition. They were chased and intercepted by hundreds of demonic beasts. After running for dozens of kilometers, their bodies were stained with blood and their flesh was lacerated. These demonic beasts had been nourished by spiritual energy and miasma. They were too powerful and almost as strong as Foundation establishment cultivators. Moreover, they were highly poisonous. If it weren't for the many protective artifacts that Jiang Tian had given them, they would probably have died long ago. At this moment, two demonic beasts were approaching. One of them was more than 2 meters tall and covered in thick feathers. His arms were between human arms and bird wings. His face was like a cross between a human and a bird. However, he had a long, sharp beak and was shaped like an owl. His eyes were strangely large, but there were no pupils. They were like a pair of dim light bulbs, emitting a dazzling light. The other demonic beast was surrounded by black fog. The demonic fog dispersed, revealing a viper-like face and a 10-meter-long python body covered in dense scales. The golden vertical pupils that had shrunk into a line blinked from time to time. The golden-eyed snake demon sniffed and said with a sharp voice, "Hiss, hiss, the tempting smell of human flesh. The other smell is very complicated, like an animal." Animal? Little worm, who are you scolding? The old dragon was furious. He revealed his true form and pushed his 100-meter-long dragon body forward. His dragon claws grabbed at the large snake demon. Ha, it's actually a flood dragon with hundreds of years of cultivation. If I catch you, it'll be good to be my demon king Baizei's mount. The snake demon's vertical pupils suddenly lit up. His body suddenly enlarged and he opened his bloody mouth to bite at the old dragon. The night owl demon didn't say anything and flew toward Yi Tianren. Still in midair, his wing-like right arm slashed across the air. Many razor-sharp feathers slashed toward Yi Tianren. Evil creature, die. Yi Tianren shouted angrily and his broken iron sword shot out like a stream of light. In an instant, the four of them collided heavily. Bang, bang, bang. The collision sounds were like dense raindrops. After a few rounds, swoosh. The old dragon flew dozens of meters away and sank into the mountain wall. He hid inside and screamed in fear, "Mercy! We surrender. We're only here to offer the star crown feather armor. Why do you have to kill us?" However, Heavenly Yi did not say a word. He was full of vigor and moved forward courageously. He used his most powerful skills and continued to fight with the two demons. These two great beasts were both half-human beast cultivators who had formed a fake core. Their bodies were strong and indestructible, and they spat out poisonous fog to create strange sound waves. Unless Yi Tianren gave up half of his cultivation and used the human sword fusion, his chances of winning were slim. "Little bug, surrender. How dare the demon cave mountain kill the blue-eyed toad and the others? You'll die even if you give up the treasure." The snake demon had 2 arms. It cackled strangely and its forked tongue swept towards Celestial Yi to wrap around him. Meanwhile, the night owl soared into the air, its sharp red claws like steel hooks grabbing at Yi Tianren's head. But suddenly, a cold light shot over like a shooting star, and with a swish, it cut off the long tongue, causing blood to spray out. "Who's there?" "A fake core overlord." The two great beasts were immediately alarmed. The snake demon retracted its broken tongue and immediately shrank its body. It stood up and looked vigilant. But the cold light was too fast. It rolled in the air and circled around the snake demon's vital point 3 times. Boom! Its huge head rolled on the ground and its vertical eyes were full of shock. Smelly blood spurted out like a tide more than 10 meters high. The snake body was still twisting crazily and its tail was like a huge whip, lashing out randomly. Bang! 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 The earth shook and the mountains shook. Sparks splashed everywhere and the boulders weighing a few thousand kilograms were torn apart and turned into powder. The night owl reacted much faster than the golden-eyed snake demon. Before Jiang Tian's flying sword swept out for the second time, he had already soared into the sky. He and the golden-eyed snake demon were the 2 top generals under Bai Zai's command. To be honest, even Li Longyuan didn't dare to provoke them easily. But at this moment, the golden-eyed snake demon was at a disadvantage. The one who came must be a supermaster. Ah! Suddenly, the night owl screamed again. There was a series of clanging sounds, like the continuous vibrations of a pipa or raindrops hitting a banana leaf. The red claws were badly mutilated and white bones were exposed. The night owl was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. His speed was already faster than the speed of sound, but this person's flying sword was even faster than him. Fortunately, he had moved early and his legs were not important. He still had 80% of his combat power, which was enough to tear a Peak Foundation establishment overlord into pieces. But at this moment... Pa 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 pa! A giant net composed of 7th metal true essence fell from the sky. Countless flashing crystal talismans engraved with flashing runes suddenly burst, illuminating the dark jungle as if it was daytime. The night owl's big yellow eyes suddenly seemed to be broken light bulbs, becoming gray and invisible. Chi 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 chi. One after another, the flying swords arrived. The night owl let out a shrill cry. Although it could not see, it turned into a ghostly stream of light, twisting and turning among the flying swords. It flew higher and higher, displaying a strength that actually surpassed Fang Jingxiang's. Insidious human, don't think that a few small spirit treasure level flying swords can kill me. Even if I can't see anything, I can still feel the murderous aura of the flying sword. You can't hit me. When I recover my vision, I have already torn you to pieces, for sure. Before the voice fell. Boom! Several red lightning bolts straight down from the depths of the clouds suddenly deviated from the established trajectory and intertwined into a thunder and lightning net with a radius of 1 kilometer, dazzling and blazing, falling from the sky. The night owl rushed left and right, but he still fell into the thunder net and was electrocuted in an instant. Boom! With a sound, he died, falling to the ground, breaking trees, rolling stones, and shaking mountains. This night owl's cultivation is not bad, especially his strong body. Jiang Tian praised. The red lightning I attracted was 10,000 degrees high, but it didn't burn into ashes. Kang Te Chu. Chu Yunxiu was so scared that her face turned pale. She exclaimed and ran away on her flying sword. Want to run? Jiang Tian snorted. His true essence burst out and slapped her to the ground together with her flying sword. Chapter 934. Beside them, Xiao Yingluo also landed and sneered. Hee hee, this idiot woman has been caught by us again. Hee hee, you better not provoke me. My master will come and save me soon. Chu Yunxiu snorted proudly. Master, you're finally here. You've bullied us so badly. The old dragon shrank his body to more than a meter long. He crawled out with tears in his eyes and acted pitiful to Jiang Tian. Why are you so cowardly? Why did you let the celestial being fight them alone? Jiang Tian glared at the old dragon. This guy was always afraid of fighting. When he met the weak, he was arrogant and acted like he was the best in the world. When he met the strong, he immediately shrank back and didn't even have the courage to try. Master, aren't you coming soon? In any case, you can slap them to death with a single slap. Why should I be calculative with them? Let's see how long they can be arrogant for. The old dragon frowned and said flatteringly, besides, if I die in battle, won't you be very sad and distressed? I know that you dote on me the most, master. Dote on you my ass. Jiang Tian kicked him aside. Master, that set of feather clothes and star crown has been given to Demon King Baizhe. Yi Tianren said respectfully. But he's still not satisfied. He wants to make a soul contract with us and turn us into his slaves and mounts. We can only run out. Don't worry, I'll help you vent your anger. Celestial being, heal yourself first. We'll kill them right away. Jiang Tian smiled. I'll make him kneel down and lick your toes. Arrogant. You don't know your place. Chu Yunxiu snorted proudly and wanted to mock Jiang Tian. Bitch, if you didn't sow discord, would we be hunted down? The old dragon turned into a big black dog and jumped up. He beat Chu Yunxiu until she almost fainted. Master, it's okay. It's just a flesh wound. Yi Tianren smiled gratefully. Then, he swallowed a few healing pills and sat cross-legged in meditation. Jiang Tian sat cross-legged on a piece of bluestone to protect him. However, the old dragon came back excitedly and asked, Master, do you have a barbecue grill in your gourd? Hungry? That's right. I think this night owl is quite fragrant after being struck by lightning. The old dragon was drooling. You have good taste now. Jiang Tian mocked. It used to be eaten raw, but now there are so many different dishes. There are spicy strips, hot pot, and barbecue. Although he said that, Jiang Tian still took out 3 feet long special spicy strips from his storage ring, a huge iron pot with a radius of 3 meters, a large pile of charcoal, buckets of all kinds of condiments, a spear-like iron skewer, a huge blade, a huge axe, and other items. Apart from using their demon cores, these demon beasts' flesh and blood also contained abundant spirit energy. They were very beneficial to the old dragon's cultivation. During this time, the old dragon had swallowed the blood essence of many foundation establishment experts and had already reached the 6th level of foundation establishment. Speaking of which, his cultivation was even stronger than Yi Tianren's. The old dragon immediately hummed a tune happily and got busy. He skewered the night owl with big iron skewers and roasted it over the charcoal fire. He brushed it with oil, salt, pepper, and cumin. The aroma spread everywhere. Then, he skinned the snake demon and cleaned it. Then, he chopped it into pieces with a huge axe and cooked it in a big iron pot to make snake soup. Half an hour later. After Yi Tianren finished healing, the old dragon also finished cooking the barbecue and snake soup. The old dragon ate happily. Old dragon, why don't you eat here first? Master and I will go find trouble with that great demon Baizhe. Yi Tianren raised his eyebrows and said murderously. wait a moment. I'm worried about the two of you going in alone. Of course, we have to fight side by side. The old dragon's mouth was full of oil as he shouted. Tisk, you're afraid that you'll be killed by other demon beasts if we leave, right? Yi Tianren laughed. Don't expose me. You're making me very embarrassed. The old dragon ate the bird meat and frowned. Suddenly, Jiang Tian smiled faintly and said, Heavenly being, don't worry. The Demon King is already here. Master, this person is at least at the nascent soul stage. He's extremely powerful. Yi Tianren's face suddenly turned serious. A golden light shot across the sky like a comet. It was extremely fast, 3 times the speed of sound. That's the great demon Baizé. He has completely transformed into a human. He's indeed extraordinary. Boom! The golden light landed 100 meters away from Jiang Tian and the others. Jiang Tian looked over. The great demon Baizé looked like a 16 or 17-year-old boy. His face was chiseled and his handsome face revealed his resolute personality. His figure was tall and straight, wearing the feather robe and star crown gifted by Jiang Tian, with wide sleeves and a wide belt. His figure fluttered in the wind, looking like a handsome tree in the wind. His otherworldly aura rushed out, as if he was truly a celestial being. The old dragon was shocked and showed a deep fear. He hid the half-eaten bird leg behind his back. Yi Tianren also looked alert and his body was tense. He was secretly accumulating energy, waiting for a moment to start the battle. Chu Yunxiu was immediately revived. She jumped up and ran behind Baizé. She pointed at Jiang Tian and yelled, Kang Te Chu, why don't you kneel and beg for mercy when you see our demon king? Jiang Tian didn't bother with her. He smiled and said, My friend, have you eaten? If you haven't, let's eat together. Baizé's handsome face was gloomy and his eyes were as sharp as knives. He said coldly, You killed the golden-eyed snake monster and the night owl and ate them? His name is Midnight Snack. Of course, I ate it. Otherwise, why would I keep it? Jiang Tian said with a slight sneer. You are Kang Te Chu. You also killed my mount, the blue-eyed toad? Baizé asked again with a slightly cold face. Yes, it's me. Jiang Tian's face was filled with curiosity as he asked seriously, Is that your mount? It's full of poisonous lumps and stinks. Don't you think it stinks? Weak insect, you are so rude. Baizé was so angry that he laughed and said arrogantly, I am Demon King Baizé who once controlled the whole heavenly star's small world. I am the master of this continent. You lowly creature, how dare you kill this seat's demon general and mount? Could it be that you're not afraid of this seat's thunderous fury? Afraid of you? Jiang Tian wanted to laugh. You should be afraid of me. Baizé was so arrogant that he waved his sleeves and said loudly, 1,000 years ago, the master of the heavenly star palace and the masters of thousands of major sects were my servants. Without my enlightenment, they're nothing. 800 years ago, the 3 abbots of the demon-subduing temple were all in the Golden Core realm. They were trampled on the ground by me and called me daddy. My strength is not something you can imagine. You can only submit to me, worship me, and be my servant. Is this your only way to survive? What's the benefit of worshipping you and being your servant? Jiang Tian asked curiously. I heard that you offended the Heavenly Star Palace, several major sects and giant cities, right? You are ambitious. Baizé praised first, then he waved his sleeves and said with disdain and arrogance, But lowly ant, you are not smart enough. I see that you are only at the 2nd level of the Foundation Establishment realm. The gap in strength is too big. You can't win. In this dangerous world, you can't survive. With his hands behind his back, he was full of arrogance and reprimanded, If you are willing to be my servant, then I will help you destroy the Heavenly Star Palace and kill that little bastard Li Longyuan. I will let you be the master of this world. How about it? That seems good. Jiang Tian said with a half-smile. Bai Zhe looked up at the starry sky that was overflowing with spiritual energy like a teenager. His gaze was sad and deep as he sighed, "Don't think that it's a surprise. I don't care about this world. Even the ruins of immortality is just a remote place in my eyes. This world is no longer viable. The ruins of immortality is also no longer viable. It's a pity that the Heavenly Star Palace is still fighting for power. What a joke. I want to find a new place for my people to live and to find a place where they can reproduce." He was full of ambition and lofty sentiments. "My journey is to conquer the sea of stars and the vast universe. As long as you kneel and submit, this vast continent will be handed over to you. I will even give you the ruins of immortality. At least you can still enjoy thousands of years of glory and wealth. What do you think, Kang Taechu?" Jiang Tian smiled disdainfully and said, Okay, I think you are seriously ill. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. If you are willing to be my servant, I will spare your life. Lowly insect, it seems that you don't know the power of Demon King Bai Zhe. I will kill you like slaughtering chickens and dogs to announce to the star world that great Demon King Bai Zhe, I am back." Bai Zhe was furious. His eyes were full of murderous intent. He rose into the air and grabbed at Jiang Tian. At this moment, a black hole seemed to have appeared in Bai Zhe's palm. The huge suction force could devour everything. Even if they were hundreds of meters away, even if the old dragon and Yi Tianren used all their cultivation and many secret techniques, they couldn't bear it and involuntarily flew toward Bai Zhe's palm. That huge spiritual power turbulence seemed to want to completely tear Yi Tianren and the old dragon apart. Even Jiang Tian was moved. The strength of this demon king Bai Zhe was really good. He was already in the late stage of gold core and even formed his nascent soul. His spiritual power was surging and vast. It had the power to destroy heaven and earth. With Jiang Tian's strength of the 4th level of foundation establishment, plus the 2 strongest physiques of Gengjin and Xianshui, as well as the many magical powers he had mastered in his 10,000 years of cultivation, it would take a lot of hard work to defeat him. Chapter 935. Ant, why don't you surrender? Kneel on the ground and tremble, then lick my toes. Bai Zhe smiled proudly. Since you're willing to be my tailor, you're my servant. Ha, Kang Taechu, you're finally finished. I've been waiting for this day for too long. Chu Yunxiu also laughed crazily, as if Jiang Tian would be played to death by Bai Zhe in the next moment. Kneel? That's a good suggestion. Jiang Tian laughed and pinched his fingers. Suddenly, chi. A few sounds. The feather clothes on Bai Zhe's body suddenly contracted and became as stiff as iron, firmly locking all the joints in his body. The star crown shone brightly, and the crown star hooks pierced his head. Blood immediately flowed out of his head, and the runes flickered, draining his magic power. The cloud-slashing shoes suddenly became as heavy as 10,000 mountains, dragging him to the ground. Thump! The greater demon, Bai Zhe, fell to the ground with his face first. His nose bled from the fall and he was in a daze. You fell? Chu Yunxiu was dumbfounded and couldn't believe it. Despicable and shameless, you actually plotted against me. Bai Zhe cursed angrily. He struggled with all his might, but the runes shone brightly and firmly imprisoned him. He shouted in shock and fear. It's the demon suppression talisman. You Ant from Earth actually knows the long-lost demon suppression talisman. And it's not the heavenly star small world's runes. I was actually fooled by you. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. He shouted angrily, plotting against me? If you have the guts, let me go and have a fair fight with me. I'm not going to fight with you. It's too tiring. Jiang Tian smiled and said, Submit to me, be my servant, and help me conquer the heavenly star small world. I'll spare your life. Yi Tianren suddenly realized and couldn't help but admire him. The reason why Jiang Tian created the feather robe and star crown and offered it to Bai Zhe was not to curry favor with him or to form an alliance with him. In fact, it was a type of dermic artifact to restrain him. Although it sounded simple, the great demon Baizé had cultivated for thousands of years and was experienced. He had sharp eyes and it was not easy to make him fall for it. So treacherous. Chu Yunxiu was also dumbfounded. It turned out that the feather clothes, star crown, and cloud shoes that Jiang Tian made were actually a set of restriction artifacts used to plot against the demon king Baizé. It turned out that this brat was using him. That's right. My master has 100 ways to make you wish you were dead. The old dragon gnawed on the bones of the night owl and threatened proudly, be my master's demon pet obediently. Don't worry, the two of us will be brothers in the future. I, your big brother, will protect you. Jiang Tian smiled faintly, and said, Big black dog, you've underestimated me. I have more than 100 techniques. Bah! You've only cultivated for a few years and you're not worthy of being my brother. The great demon Baizé shouted angrily at the old dragon, and then laughed coldly, human insect, just use whatever techniques you have. If I blink, I'll be wasting my thousands of years of cultivation. Hee, is that so? Jiang Tian smiled coldly and formed a seal with his fingers. Instantly, streaks of golden light penetrated from the feather robe and star crown. Like sharp thorns, they pierced towards Baizé's internal organs. Ow 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 ow. It's so painful. Baizé only felt that there were thousands of steel needles piercing his body. His internal organs seemed to be stirred by steel knives, and the bones all over his body creaked. You think you can do anything to me? Baizé roared and used his demon technique. Instantly, his body shrunk rapidly, like a baby. However, as he shrunk, the feather robe and cloud shoes also shrunk, still tightly constricting him. Especially his waist, it was about to become as thick as a thumb, as if it would completely shatter in the next moment. Roar! Break it! The great demon Baizé's face was flushed red. Yellow light shone brightly around him, and his body expanded continuously. Suddenly, with a muffled bang, he reverted to his original form. His original form was 1,000 feet long like a small mountain. He had the body of a lion and the head of a dragon. There were 2 long curved horns that were dozens of meters long on his head, and he looked extraordinarily mighty and terrifying. His body expanded, but the feather robe and star crown did not expand with him. With a series of cracking sounds, the great demon Baizé immediately heard the sound of his ribs breaking. In particular, his essence spirit was also penetrated by the spirit consciousness nails emitted by the golden star crown. It was so painful that his head almost exploded. The great demon Baizé shrunk his body hurriedly. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth as he shouted angrily, if not for this robe, you can't beat me. I'm just indignant. Just use whatever methods you have. I'll seal my acupoints and meridians. Even if you crush me into meat paste, I won't bow down to a weak insect like you. Oh my, you've got quite a temper. Jiang Tian made a series of hand gestures, and all kinds of torture came one after another. The feather robe and star crown were sometimes as cold as an icehouse, sometimes as hot as magma, sometimes as twisted as a fried dough twist, and sometimes as round as a mile, kneading Baizé like dough. The torture lasted for 15 minutes, but even though Baizé was bleeding all over, he just closed his eyes and did not make a sound. You're really tough. Jiang Tian gave up and laughed. Baizé opened his eyes and stared at Jiang Tian. His eyes were disdainful as he said resentfully, Humph, I've cultivated for 1,000 years and my ability is omnipotent. Sooner or later, I'll come up with a solution. When I regain my freedom, I'll teach you well and let you lick my toes. Lick my toes. You're really a genius. That's a good suggestion. Jiang Tian laughed and made another hand gesture. Suddenly, the feather robe wriggled and the star crown shone. Baizé was controlled by the feather robe and involuntarily knelt down. He crawled towards Jiang Tian and stuck out his tongue to lick Jiang Tian's shoes. What are you doing? Demons can be killed but not humiliated. Don't, give me a quick slash. Bai hurriedly shouted, "Stop, stop, don't. I'll submit." Jiang Tian stopped his hand gesture. Suddenly, the feather robe and Bai felt relaxed and returned to his human form. Jiang Tian laughed and said, "You can move now." "I won't move. I'll only move if I believe you." "You must be playing with me." Bai sneered. It had been playing with eagles all its life, but in the end, it was pecked in the eye by a small family. It was being bullied by dogs in the demon plains. "Bai, do you still want to lick my toes?" Jiang Tian threatened in a light voice. Bai was shocked and jumped up. He spat a few times and did not dare to be presumptuous anymore. Jiang Tian smiled calmly and said, "Bai, I heard that you are in charge of an ancient battlefield ruins and only you can enter. Is that right?" Before Jiang Tian killed Fang Jingqiang, he used the Soul Devourer to seize his soul and memories. He knew that there was an ancient battlefield ruins here. His bronze chariots and warships, as well as the ability to summon the 8-armed demon god, were also obtained from here. Even the remnant soul of the demon god was born in this ancient battlefield ruins. "What ruins?" "I don't know." Bai looked up at the sky with a confused expression. He. Jiang Tian made another hand gesture. "I'll take you there now, okay? It's just a pile of junk." "What's so great about it?" Bai said angrily. Soon, Bai led everyone to a valley in Crimson Thunder Mountain. He used a secret technique to break the many seals. Suddenly, a long and narrow valley appeared. Solitary Sword Valley, this is it. Coincidentally, Solitary Sword Valley was the core area of the spiritual energy tide. The demon beasts here were also the most ferocious. Jiang Tian frowned and looked around. In the huge valley, there were many marks of swords and arrows. Even after thousands of years, they still had not disappeared. Moreover, this place was gray. Even if Jiang Tian activated his divine sense, he could only scan a few hundred meters away. This is the remnant of divine sense and killing intent. It seems that there were nascent soul and even soul formation experts who fought here. Otherwise, it would not have been preserved for so long. Jiang Tian saw this and was secretly shocked. There were many dilapidated bronze chariots here. Some were even made with the precious metal of the immortal world. Some were even more than 1,000 meters long. Even if they were rotten, they were still majestic and intimidating. This belongs to the refining techniques of modern cultivators. And the characters are not human characters. Jiang Tian sighed with a long gaze. Fang Jingqiang's bronze chariots and ancient warships all had kinetic reaction furnaces. They used energy stones similar to the energy stones used in exploding crystals to create kinetic energy. This was no longer a classical cultivator's artifact, but a modern one. Bai, where did these chariots come from? And where did you come from? Jiang Tian suddenly asked. Bai had a lifespan of 1,000 years. It should be the oldest creature on this continent, even older than the Starry Sky Palace. The information it knew should be the most authentic secret of this continent. This information is too old. I don't remember it. Bai lay lazily on the mountain rock. It looked like it would not say anything even if it was beaten to death. Jiang Tian was furious. He shouted angrily, "If you want to lick my toes, don't say it. If you don't want to, say it now. You think I'm afraid of you?" Bai sneered, but it had already opened its mouth. "I'm the ruler of this continent. If you want to ask me for advice, you'd better be humble." "Humble? I'll let you be humble." Jiang Tian laughed and formed a hand seal. "I'll say it, okay. You're too impatient." Bai glared at Jiang Tian and hurriedly said, "Speaking of which, it's been a few thousand years. I'm just a little demon, very young. This continent has already been formed. My master is the master of this continent. He's already a nascent soul cultivator and is known as the master of the holy heavens. In this starry sky, there was an ancient starry sky path that led directly to the ruins of immortality. But one day, the devil race came to attack. Jiang Tian heard this and suddenly moved. Was there really a spatial portal that led directly to the ruins of immortality? Chapter 936. However, according to what Jiang Haishan and the others had said, there was only a teleportation formation that led to the third-level secret sect. The devil race is very powerful. They can devour everything. Even though my heavenly god sect master is a nascent soul realm cultivator, he is still no match for him. In a moment of desperation, he had no choice but to destroy the teleportation formation and sever the ancient starry sky path. Bai Zhe said smugly, "This solitary sword valley was left behind by my master's strike." Amazing, right? Jiang Tian looked around. This gorge was about 10 miles long, and it was actually formed by someone's sword. He was indeed a nascent soul cultivator. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to slash apart a 10-mile-wide mountain with a single slash. The Holy Heavens sect leader was truly amazing. However, the intruder was no match for him. It could be seen how powerful the invaders were. Master also perished in that battle. However, I have Master's legacy. After several years, I finally condensed a Yao core and took human form. Moreover, I've become the master of the Stellar Sky Palace. Bai Zhe sighed. Oh, how did it fall into the hands of Yuan Tiangang? Jiang Tian asked curiously. Yuan Tiangang is nothing. He's just a member of the Dragon Protector clan. Bai Zhe's eyes were filled with arrogance as he laughed in disdain. Dragon Protector clan? Jiang Tian was puzzled. In other words, they are the families that guard the royal family of each dynasty. For example, those imperial preceptors, grand preceptors, trusted aides, and so on. Great Demon Bai Zhe looked at Jiang Tian in surprise and gave him a look that said, Jiang Tian is ignorant. However, at that time, not to mention the Yuan family of the Dragon Protector, even the Li family of the Imperial family, which was the ancestor of Li Longyuan in the Tang dynasty, was just my disciple. You lick my toes every day. His face was filled with pride as he spoke. Then how did you lose the Heavenly Star Palace? Looking at his arrogant look, the veins on Jiang Tian's forehead twitched as he asked murderously. I don't care. Bai Zhe's face flushed red, and then he laughed with disdain and said proudly, I want to conquer the sea of stars, the vast universe. A mere heavenly star small world is nothing to me. Jiang Tian could tell that he was a man with a story when he saw the resentment in his shyness. Nothing unusual happened during the day. It was inevitable that there would be internal strife, plots, and struggles within the sections. In the cultivation world, such things were not uncommon. Bai Zhe, do you have any treasures? Can you lend me some? Jiang Tian smiled and said, what I need the most now is wood attribute great herbs and spirit plants. The more, the better. The ancient warships and many broken artifacts and divine weapons here could be used after some repairs. However, this was not what Jiang Tian valued the most. What Jiang Tian wanted was to further his cultivation. It would be best if his green dragon mystic water divine body could produce a wood elemental divine body. This would require a wood elemental divine with spiritual plant as a primer. Lend to you. I'm afraid you're borrowing but not returning it. Bai Zhe snorted angrily, but he had already stood up and said, there's a tree demon nearby. A few thousand years ago, it was on par with the leader of the Heavenly Gods sect. Back then, the leader of the Heavenly Gods sect had to join forces with a few nascent soul realm cultivators to suppress it. Later, the tree demon broke free during the Great War of Immortals and Demons. I joined forces with many top experts to suppress it again. That tree demon is very strong. It must be very nutritious. However, I'm afraid you can't eat it. Haha, there's nothing in this world that I can't eat. Jiang Tian sneered and scanned with his divine sense. Alright, then come with me. After passing through the solitary sword valley, you'll reach the chaotic cloud valley. There's a lake there, and that tree demon is by the lake. Bai Zhe sneered and led Jiang Tian into the depths of the solitary sword valley. There were traces of lightning burns on the dark mountain walls. The mountain path was winding and bumpy. On both sides of the mountain walls, huge trees covered the sky. It was as if they had broken free of the earth's magnetic force. Grass grew out of the ground like swords and halberds, interweaving into a chaotic network. It was as if they had entered an upside-down and chaotic world. It was as if the cliff was the ground. The thick trees were extremely ancient. Some of them couldn't even be hugged by 10 people. Their roots were intertwined like dragons. Ghost flames could be seen under the roots. They were the bones of huge beasts. Some of the bones were so mutated that Jiang Tian couldn't recognize them. Strangely, these bones were on the cliff and not at the bottom of the valley. The leaves that fell from the trees also didn't fall to the bottom of the valley. Instead, they fell on the cliff. This valley was surprisingly clean. There weren't any rotten leaves. Dong! The large black dog accidentally bumped into a large rock that was floating in the air. The rock spun and flew to the side, still floating in the air. The rock is floating. What's going on? The large black dog was surprised. Back then, the Heavenly Gods sect master destroyed the teleportation formation and the gravity simulation formation. Moreover, the gravity formation here was damaged the most. Jiang Tian said calmly. Rumble. There was a loud noise. Suddenly, bolts of lightning as thick as buckets struck the forest. The huge trees that were struck instantly emitted black smoke and were charred black. However, the strange thing was, with a light pop, green sprouts emerged from the charred huge trees and grew rapidly. This must be the thunder meteorite wood. It can be used to create thunder element dharma treasures. It's priceless on Earth, but it can be seen everywhere here. This is the hidden power of this small world. Yi Tianren couldn't believe it. He was deeply moved. According to Jiang Tian's deduction, many of the hidden sects were continents that were separated from the ancient Earth. According to the cultivators of the stellar sky domain, there were dozens of hidden sects like the stellar sky domain. The biggest hidden sect's mystic realm, the ruins of immortality, was even bigger than all the other dimensions combined. How big was the ancient Earth? Even if the current Earth expanded by 10 times, it still wouldn't be comparable. Rustling sounds could be heard. In the forest, scorpions and strange insects that were taller than humans appeared from time to time. They bared their fangs and claws at Jiang Tian and the others. Humans? Roasted until it's medium well. It's definitely delicious. It's not fresh anymore when it's medium well. It's best to roast it over a fire. Once the hair is roasted, it can be eaten. It even squeaks when you eat it. It's the most delicious. Bullshit, medium well is still the best. Shoo. Don't talk. The Demon King is here too. Maybe it's his friend. There were also huge demonic beasts that stuck their heads out to look. They had strange shapes and had fierce eyes. Their long saliva trailed on the ground as they discussed. However, when they saw the Demon King Bai Zhe, these poisonous insects and strange beasts all showed fear in their eyes. They either crawled on the ground, trembled, or retreated like the tide. Hey, this flower is so beautiful. The old dragon looked around happily. Suddenly, he saw a huge flower with colorful flowing lights emerging from the mountain wall. It immediately attracted his attention. This flower was the size of a water tank. It emitted a purple light and was crystal clear as if it was carved from a gem. It illuminated the space within a radius of a few hundred meters. The flower, branches, leaves, and stem swayed and twisted gently. It was as if a flower fairy was dancing. It was extremely beautiful and moving. It smells so good. Master, can I pick it and give it to mistress? The large black dog acted cute. It stood up like a human, stuck its head out, closed its eyes, and breathed in the fragrance of the big purple flower. Suddenly, with a whoosh, the big purple flower's stem and leaves curved out like a poisonous snake. The huge flower instantly swallowed the old dragon's head. The petals closed tightly and picked him up. "Master, save me. I'm going to die." The old dragon's 4 dog paws tried to pull at the petals, but he couldn't pull them apart at all. Bang! 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 He tried to transform into his dragon form. The essence chi in his body surged and expanded rapidly. However, he was immediately beaten back into his black dog form by the flower. "All right, Z, this is a guest. Don't be rash." Demon King Bai frowned and shouted in a low voice. "Pooh!" The purple flower spat out the large black dog on the ground. It used its roots as 4 limbs and hopped away. Then, the roots of its legs stabbed into the mountain rocks and soil again. It swayed and danced as it waited for its prey. The large black dog was so scared that his face turned pale. His eyes were filled with fear, and his body was covered in sticky purple liquid. The liquid was very corrosive and fell to the ground. Instantly, it burned the mountain rocks and made crackling sounds. Green smoke rose, and holes appeared on the rocks. The group continued forward. This kind of purple flower appeared more and more. Some of the flowers were piles of white bones, some were half-melted corpses, and some were still alive. However, they were already on the verge of death. They were all Foundation establishment cultivators. Yi Tianren was secretly shocked. This place was indeed dangerous. No wonder the rebels and bandits of Demon Cave Mountain didn't dare to enter easily. "Are you embarrassed? You were almost eaten by someone." Jiang Tian looked at the large black dog mockingly. "Humph. That was when I was unprepared. Otherwise, I might not have lost." The old dragon frowned and said stubbornly. At this time, Jiang Tian noticed that the first stone tablet had appeared in the canyon. This stone tablet was more than 10 meters tall and had runes carved on it. Jiang Tian glanced at it and smiled. "Bai, you're not bad. Although you're a demon, you know demon-suppressing runes." "Hee, there's no demon that I can't suppress. Otherwise, how could I be the demon king that dominates this land? I'm very proficient in demon-suppressing runes," Bai said proudly. "The demon-suppressing runes you carved are too crude." Jiang Tian shook his head and said disdainfully. Bai's eyes flashed fiercely. It wanted to swallow Jiang Tian whole, but when it thought of the terrifying feather robe, star crown, and cloud shoes, it could only give up. "Moreover, you didn't recognize the demon-suppressing runes on the feather robe, star crown, and cloud shoes I gave you. You put them on so happily," Jiang Tian said casually as if he was taking a stroll. Bai wanted to cry but had no tears. However, it had to admit that its attainment in runes was not comparable to Jiang Tian's at all. It didn't even recognize the demon-suppressing runes. It thought they were protective runes. It was no wonder. Jiang Tian had mixed the protective runes with the demon-suppressing runes. The two complemented each other like salt and water. It was untraceable. Perhaps even the most powerful rune masters in the Heavenly Star's small world couldn't recognize them. Hiss. Isn't it just a demon? Why are there so many demon-suppressing stone tablets? Why are there so many? At this time, Chu Yunxiu exclaimed. Suddenly, she saw the demon-suppressing stone tablets appear one after another. At a glance, there were dozens of them. Were they suppressing dozens of great demons? Hiss. Is this a tree demon? When everyone walked out of the solitary Sword Valley, they couldn't help but gasp. It was a circular valley with a radius of more than 10 miles. There was a big tree beside a lake. The tree was hundreds of meters tall. Its branches were like giant umbrellas that covered the sky and the sun, covering an area with a radius of about 1 mile. The surroundings of the giant tree were densely packed with demon-suppressing stone tablets. There were about hundreds of them. They couldn't see the end of them. They surrounded the big tree and the lake. Chapter 937. It's just a tree demon. Bai Zhe looked at Jiang Tian and said slowly, but you need hundreds of demon-suppressing monuments to suppress it. This tree demon's cultivation level is no lower than mine. At that time, in order to subdue and suppress him, dozens of my friends all died. Immortal Master Jiang, do you still dare? Chu Yunqiu was shocked. Could this giant tree be that monster? It was so big, it was too scary. This tree demon's cultivation level was probably at the nascent soul level or even the nascent soul level. It's so big. Brother Jiang, I think those bronze chariots are worth a lot. Let's forget about this tree demon. It's too scary. Cold sweat broke out on Xiao Yingluo's forehead. Master, you must be careful. Yi Tianren looked serious. He stared at the giant tree and the densely packed demon-suppressing monuments and said in a low voice, this tree demon is full of demonic qi. I'm afraid it's not an ordinary thing. Why don't you wait until your cultivation level is higher before refining it? It's indeed not an ordinary thing. Jiang Tian's expression also changed slightly. He looked at the tree seriously and couldn't calm down. Although it was full of demonic qi and even revealed traces of demonic qi, this was not a tree demon, but a very rare dancing tree. The dancing tree was also called the creation tree. Like the water of life, it was a divine object at the beginning of the chaos. When a star was born, it would first produce the 5 basic elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. With these elements as the foundation, it would cycle endlessly and give birth to other life forms. The basic water element was usually the water of life, origin water, mystic water, and other divine water. The basic wood element was usually the dancing tree, the Bodhi divine tree, or the natural green spirit wood. They contained unparalleled vitality and represented wisdom, power, and immortality. According to legend, Sakyamuni, the leader of the Buddhist sect on earth, had meditated for 7 days and 7 nights under a Bodhi tree. He had gained wisdom, gained enlightenment, and became a Buddha. Then, the most important sect in the East was born. If the Bodhi tree represented wisdom, then the dancing tree represented strength and vitality. In the world of cultivators, and even in the heavenly realm, some experts would use the whirling tree as the skeleton and support of the planet when they were condensing stars, creating small worlds, or even creating a universe, in order to stabilize the continent and energy. After the star had stabilized, it would be extracted or refined into infinite vitality to nourish the entire planet or world. The whirling tree in front of him was at least several thousand years old. It might not have been formed when the ancient earth was created. It could be said that the swaying divine tree was a famous wood elemental treasure in the cultivation world, not to mention that this tree was thousands of years old. The wood elemental spiritual energy contained in it was extremely vast and majestic. It was even more abundant than all the wood elemental treasures that Jiang Tian had gathered in the earth realm. The spirit core produced by this divine tree alone was enough to help Jiang Tian break through to the middle and late stages of the foundation establishment realm. Moreover, it was definitely a descendant of the divine tree and could be used as a catalyst for Jiang Tian to evolve into a wood elemental divine body. Jiang Tian's current cultivation was not high enough, and he was in urgent need of cultivation resources. Even if a golden core or nascent soul stage expert saw this wood elemental treasure, he would not be able to move. However, this swaying divine tree had been contaminated with a lot of demonic qi during the invasion of the gods and devils. Later, because many of the arrays had been destroyed by the heavenly god sect's master, the miasma here had exploded. It had absorbed a lot of miasma, so it had taken on a demonic form. Jiang Tian could not swallow it directly. He had to use a cultivation technique to completely refine it before he could swallow it. Maybe I can use that method to completely absorb this tree demon. No matter if it's the demonic qi or the wood elemental essence, none of it will be wasted, Jiang Tian frowned and pondered. Many valves to refine the demonic qi appeared in his mind. He gradually made up his mind. Ha, you don't dare to remove the demon-suppressing monument, right? You're afraid of this tree demon, aren't you? Chu Yunxiu cast a sidelong glance at Jiang Tian, her eyes full of contempt. She had been bullied badly by Jiang Tian these days. Especially when the big demon Baizhe was defeated by Jiang Tian, she felt even more defeated. At this time, seeing Jiang Tian's serious expression, she immediately thought that Jiang Tian did not have the ability to resist this tree demon. She wanted to provoke Jiang Tian into removing the demon-suppressing monument. Maybe the tree demon would regain its freedom and kill Jiang Tian. Before Jiang Tian could speak, a cry for help suddenly came from the lake in the distance. Help, help, the old dragon jumped onto the monument and looked listlessly. There's a woman taking a bath. Taking a bath? Is she drowning? Didn't you hear her call? Xiao Yingluo chuckled. She's taking a bath. When have you seen someone drowning and taking off all their clothes? The big black dog picked his nose and flicked out a stream of booger. Taking off all my clothes. I'm prettier than the girls in the spring fragrance brothel. Immortal Master Jiang, why don't you hurry up and take a look? Baizhe immediately rose into the air, jumped onto the stone tablet, and said with a smile. There was a naked woman in the lake. Her figure was enchanting and curvy, and she was extremely attractive. Brother Jiang is a gentleman. He won't look. Xiao Yingluo snorted, full of confidence in Jiang Tian. Jiang Tian did not look at the woman in the lake. He used his divine sense to explore and frowned, thinking about how to refine the demonic aura. Sir, outside, quickly come and save me. I just need to push down that monument, the woman screamed. If I can be saved, I'll repay you with my body. Kang Te Chu, why don't you hurry up and save her? Chu Yunxiu said mockingly. Jiang Tian's thoughts were interrupted, and he couldn't help but frown. The old dragon flicked a stream of booger at Chu Yunxiu's face and snorted. Don't make trouble. At this moment. Boom! Streaks of golden Buddha light pierced through the void like shooting stars. Eminent monks stepped on colorful golden lotuses and cut through the sky, sliding toward Jiang Tian. Splash! The woman in the lake glanced at the golden light, and her expression changed drastically. She dived into the water and disappeared. Abbot Pudu of the Demon Subduing Temple greets the number one person on earth, Demon Cave Mountain Master, Kang Te Chu. Master Pudu landed on the ground and walked over slowly. He put his palms together and bowed with a kind face. His body was huge, and streaks of golden Buddha light shone behind his head like a ring, very dazzling. Behind him was Zen Master Deshin, whom Jiang Tian had seen before, and many arhats, vajras, and protectors. There were as many as 300 people. Even though Zen Master Deshin was already at the third level of the Foundation Establishment realm, he was ranked last here. The others were all people of the generation of his martial uncles. Almost all of them were at the perfected Foundation Establishment realm, not far from the False Core realm. When they arrived, the miasma immediately retreated, and the demonic chi dissipated. The wind was gentle, the clouds drifted, and the golden light shone. Even the lightning in the sky didn't dare to strike this area. The Demon Subduing Temple was indeed one of the three major sects under the Heavenly Star Palace. It had many experts and a deep foundation, even surpassing the huge cities like the border cities. Master Pudu, may I know why you are looking for me? Jiang Tian didn't hit a smiling person. He returned the greeting and nodded at Zen Master Deshin. However, Yi Tianren's expression was grave, and he was somewhat wary. Master Pudu had brought all the experts of the Demon Subduing Temple with him this time. It was obvious that they didn't come with good intentions and intended to attack. Master Pudu smiled and said, I'm here to resolve a dispute and return peace to the two worlds. I hope that Benefactor Jiang will let go of your grudges and convert to Buddhism. You will definitely attain the Tao. This is a great kindness. Beside him, the great demon Baizhe chuckled and said with a sinister voice transmission with his divine sense, he's trying to take advantage of you. He wants to take advantage of this opportunity to take you and the entire Demon Cave Mountain into his demon subduing temple and strengthen his sect's strength. Now that the demon-subduing temple has obtained the border cities, they are quite powerful. I've seen this little bald thief before. He was still an innocent little monk. How did he become so ambitious now? Immortal Master Jiang, can you disperse the dermic powers of my star-crown feather coat and cloud-slashing boots? Let's get rid of these little bald donkeys together. How about that? Jiang Tian ignored Bai Zhe and looked at Pudu with a faint smile. I really admire you for being willing to resolve your grudges for the sake of the people of the world. But why don't you let Li Longyuan convert to your demon-subduing temple first? Why should I, Kang Te Chu, be the one to convert? Master Pudu's face stiffened. He then chanted the name of Buddha and said, Immortal Master Jiang, your cultivation is too weak. You are no match for Li Longyuan. If you insist on doing things your own way, you will definitely be killed by Li Longyuan. Moreover, your desire to kill is too strong. If you don't repent before Buddha, you will definitely become a demon one day. If you ask me, Li Longyuan's demonic heart is even stronger. Not only is he militaristic in this world, but he also wants to invade Earth. Jiang Tian said calmly, I've only killed a few people. I've only killed a few people. Including those on Earth, are there 10,000 people? Li Longyuan has killed hundreds of thousands of people, hasn't he? If you want to convert people, then go convert Li Longyuan. He needs to be converted more than I do. When Master Pudu saw the two pretty little girls beside Jiang Tian, he shouted, Don't worry, Jiang Tian. Immortal Master Jiang, are you greedy for the beauty of the mortal world and worldly power? You have to know that all of this is like a pink skeleton, a stinky skin, a dream, and the fruit of the sin of marriage. In the end, it's all in vain. Old bald thief, don't talk nonsense. Jiang Tian snorted. I love this mortal world. So what? I'm giving you face by calling you master. I have something important to do. Get out of my way. If you talk nonsense again, I'll overturn your demon-subduing temple and wash your bald people with blood. Chapter 938. No Buddha in your heart. Devil. Greedy for the mortal world. Idiot. Too murderous. Sinful. The monks' expressions changed drastically. They couldn't sit still anymore. They chanted Buddha's name and yelled at Jiang Tian. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered. The golden light turned murderous, and a murderous aura filled the surroundings. Only Bai Zhe snickered, eager for the two sides to fight. Devil. Idiot. I'm sinful. Jiang Tian didn't want to pay attention to these old bastards, but when he saw them standing on the moral high ground, he couldn't help but be annoyed. He raised his eyebrows and asked, Master Pudu, eminent monks, let me ask you, if everyone becomes a monk, doesn't work, doesn't get married, and doesn't have children, will the human race be extinct in 100 or 1,000 years? Humans have no grudges with you. Why do you want to exterminate the human race? The monks were stunned and tongue-tied. The muscles on Pudu's cheeks twitched. He said coldly, Benefactor, you're bewitched. The demon-subduing temple has never turned people into monks. I'm talking about your military campaigns, and the people of the world. What's the difference between me killing a few people and exterminating the human race? Jiang Tian asked. You, Master Pudu and the monks were speechless. They were angry and embarrassed. Only Zen Master Da Xin seemed to be in deep thought. Okay, let's not talk about that for now. I'll ask you again. Jiang Tian asked. I heard that the demon-subduing temple kills thousands of demons every year, but you preach mercy and don't kill. Was that demonic beast alive or not? Are they living? Demons are not our kind. The weak are prey to the strong. They should be killed. An Arhat roared. You eat grains and plants. Are plants and grains alive? Are you a prey to the strong? Jiang Tian asked. This is not the same thing. This Arhat was called Puzhao. He was Pudu's junior brother. He had a deep understanding of Buddhism and was best at Zen meditation. He often used questions and answers to lead people to become Buddhas. At this moment, he was questioned by Jiang Tian to the point that cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and he was speechless. Jiang Tian took out a spiritual herb seed and channeled the green dragon mystic water technique to create fortune. Immediately, the seed germinated and spat out green leaves, forming branches. The leaves were green and lustrous, and flower buds emerged from them. With a pop, the flower bloomed, tender and beautiful. Is it beautiful? Jiang Tian asked softly with a trace of affection in his eyes. Beautiful. That Pu Zhao's eyes were a little infatuated as he said in a daze. Jiang Tian handed the flower to him and said indifferently, the seeds of flowers are the same as food, they both have life. How many lives have you eaten in your life? When will you repay them? If they had a spirit and absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to become demons, they would probably cry and shout, you killed billions of their kind? Have you ever thought that billions of souls of plants and creatures would surround you, crying and howling at you day and night? You all say that all living things are equal, that flowers and plants have spirits, but when they become demons, you all want to subdue demons, get rid of demons, and defend the Tao. Don't they feel wronged? As soon as Jiang Tian finished speaking, the scene became deathly silent. That Pu Zhao held the flower in his hand and his body trembled violently. His expression became more and more fearful, as if the flower had turned into an evil spirit that wanted to take his life. Suddenly, he fell to the ground and wailed, I've eaten countless of your kind. My sins are deep and difficult to resolve. I'm willing to become a pile of ashes to raise you. After he finished speaking, countless karmic flames ignited around his body, instantly burning him into ashes. His magic power was deep and profound, and the flower was not harmed at all. It fell into the ashes, but it was still bright and glistening, gently swaying. Senior brother Pu Zhao, you're silly. Everyone was dumbfounded. They didn't dare to believe it and couldn't say a word. Kang Te Chu, you said that you killed people because of evil arts. You're slandering Buddha, your sins are unforgivable. Only after a few seconds did a few high monks shout out in shock and despair. You can eat plants and flowers, so why can't flowers eat you? Jiang Tian said calmly. What's the difference between him sacrificing himself to feed the flower and the Buddha cutting his flesh to feed the eagle and the ancient Moko Saching sacrificing himself to feed the tiger in the Ksitigarbha Sutra? In the legend, Moko Saching later became Buddha and I helped Pu Zhao become Buddha. Why do you blame me? Why do you say that Pu Zhao is silly? Maybe, in your hearts, you think that it's meaningless. Then, why do you cultivate Buddhism? Jiang Tian's words were actually very suspicious of sophistry. But it was something that many eminent monks had never thought of and it had a great impact on them. The monks' minds shook and evil thoughts appeared. Their Buddhist hearts were damaged and their expressions changed drastically. Cold sweat broke out on their bodies and they all chanted incantations to suppress their inner demons. There was even a monk who suddenly took off his monk robe and pulled out his prayer beads. He flew into the air and roared loudly. I'm used to killing and burning. I've been abstaining from meat and praying to Buddha all these years. I only feel that I've lived in vain. Now that I've heard Cultivator Tai Chu's words, I feel that I've lived my life in vain. I'm going to renounce asceticism. Don't listen to his nonsense. It's all about the fiend path. The light of Buddha behind Master Pudu shone brightly as he shouted, trying to wake the monks up. The law of the jungle is not a problem at all. Eating is just a kind of instinct. Jiang Tian's eyes flashed with a trace of vicissitudes. He said coldly, but in this world, some people and some ideas are even more terrifying than the law of the jungle. Many people have food to eat, but they still want to kill, invade, and control others, because they can get endless pleasure from killing, controlling, and bullying. That's the scary thing. The demons you're suppressing are not true demons. The demons you're killing are not evil demons. How can you talk about eliminating demons and protecting the Tao? Kang Te Chu, what a sharp-tongued man. Master Pudu shouted and then said, "You'll go to hell in your next life if you continue to act recklessly like this." Act recklessly? Jiang Tian smiled and said casually, "I'm fighting for the safety of the 6 billion people on Earth. Why is that considered acting recklessly? Should the human race on Earth be killed by the Sky Star Palace, the other hidden sects and the ruins of deity? If the world of the hidden sects invades Earth, Earth will become hell. Then, did all the humans on Earth commit sins in their previous lives? Since we're already in the dark hell, why should we be afraid of hell? I only want to fight with you and go to hell together." And, the next life, Jiang Tian revealed a mocking expression and said, "I don't want any blessings in my next life or to live a glorious life. I don't want to go to the Western Paradise either. I only want to travel 1,000 miles with a sword in this life, drink the strongest wine, ride the fastest flying sword and kill the most ruthless people. I only want to live a vigorous and happy life now. Asking for the next life is just a coward's behavior that doesn't dare to face in this life. It's just a trick to scare people in the next life." "Master, why do I suddenly feel that immortal Master Jiang is making a lot of sense?" Zen Master Deshin said with a confused face. "Bullshit. He's misleading people with his lies. He's just messing with people's minds." Master Pudu snorted. "He doesn't have the root of wisdom." Master Pudu shook his head and sighed. "Whoever wants to have it will have it. I don't care about having it." Jiang Tian smiled mockingly, unmoved. "Humph. This person has killed without restraint and has repeatedly stirred up bloodshed. He even said that he would kill senior brother Pu Zhao and slandered Buddha. Master, kill him." "Yes, Master. Punishing evil is promoting good. Today, we'll kill this bastard and get rid of the evil." Quite a few monks were furious, killing intent surging. They wanted to attack Jiang Tian and kill him all. Even Master Pudu wanted to kill him in an instant. Zen Master Deshin quickly knelt and begged, "Master, you promised me that you would never threaten immortal Master Jiang. He saved me before." Jiang Tian glanced at Zen Master Deshin and had a good impression of him. This kid was quite humane. "All right, immortal Master Jiang. I know that you're the most powerful person on Earth. You've been undefeated your whole life." Master Pudu thought for a moment and suppressed his anger. He smiled and said, "But the Buddhist Dharma of the demon-subduing temple is boundless. It's not something you can imagine. How about this? This tree demon's Dharma is powerful. I'll convert him with my Buddhist Dharma, and you use your own methods to subdue him. If I win, you'll be my registered disciple. You'll abstain from meat and chant Buddhist scriptures for 30 years to resolve the evil in your heart. You'll kill less in the future. If you can subdue him, then I'll be considered inferior to you. You can do whatever you want with me. Master Pudu, I'm afraid that you won't be able to subdue and convert this tree demon. Instead, you'll be killed. I think you'd better be careful." Jiang Tian said lightly. "I have my ways to get rid of the demon-subduing monument. Benefactor Jiang, are you afraid to take the risk?" Master Pudu's tone was light, but his face was full of arrogance. He clearly meant that Kang Teichu might not be able to do it, but the demon-subduing temple might be able to. "I'm just afraid that you won't dare to take the risk." "Master, we need to be more cautious." Zen Master Deshin said nervously, "I heard that this tree demon is very fierce and terrifying. Once, a powerful person from the Heavenly Star Palace came here and was bewitched and devoured by it." "Deshin, you only know one thing, but not the other." Master Pudu smiled and said, "This tree demon has actually been subdued twice by the leader of the Heavenly God sect and the great demon Bai Zhe. The leader of the Heavenly God sect and the great demon Bai Zhe are not kind people, so they must have subdued a good demon." Yi Tianren glanced at Bai Zhe. "Don't Master Pudu and the others know Bai Zhe? They're not even in the same generation as me. Speaking of which, his Grand Master is barely in the same generation as me. How can Master Pudu know me?" Bai Zhe smiled coldly and sent a voice transmission to Jiang Tian. However, In addition to the Heavenly Star Palace, the demon-subduing temple also tried to harm me back then. I just don't know if it's this little bald donkey's master or his grand master. How can they say good things about me now? They only have interests in their eyes. What good and evil do they have? Chapter 939. Master. De Xan wanted to say something but stopped. He felt it was inappropriate. Get rid of the demon-suppressing monument. Pudu wanted to intimidate Jiang Tian. How could he be weak? He didn't care at all. At this time, the woman in the lake popped her head out of the water again. Half of her shoulders were exposed. She said in a sad voice, "Senior monk, I was suppressed by Bai Zhe for hundreds of years. Our hatred is as deep as the ocean. We can't live under the same sky. Senior monk, please save me. I'll repay you with my body." Pudu smiled bitterly and said loudly, "I'm a monk. I don't need you to repay me with your body. From now on, you will abstain from eating meat and recite Buddhist scriptures. You will no longer harm others. I'll break the seal here and let you out. I'm willing to convert." The woman was surprised and overjoyed. Jiang Tian frowned and said, "Master Pudu, if you let this monster out, it may be even more terrifying than Bai Zhe. It will bring chaos to the entire Demon Cave Mountain and even the entire Heavenly Star small world. It's just a tree demon. What's so scary about it?" Master Puxian of the Arhat Hall of the Demon-Suppressing Temple stepped forward and said proudly, "I've killed 300 monsters. What kind of monsters haven't I seen? Let's see how we are going to convert this tree demon." Master Pugue of the Sutra Depository sneered and said, "Kang Te Chu, you're the most powerful person on earth. I didn't expect you to be afraid of a tree demon. If you don't dare to compete, just admit defeat and convert to Buddhism. Then go to the demon-suppressing temple and reflect on your mistakes." Master Puguang of the Law Enforcement Hall snorted, "If you can convert her, then convert her. If you can't, just kill her. The demon-suppressing temple is never afraid of these things." Chu Yunxiu also snorted disdainfully, "Master Tai Chu Celestial, are you really afraid? Aren't you always confident and domineering?" Jiang Tian was too lazy to pay attention to her. He looked at Pudu and said indifferently, "Pudu, if you want to mess around, you don't have to ask us to save you. The terror of this thing is not something you can imagine." The whirling divine tree was originally a strange creature and had the power of a nascent soul cultivator. It had also absorbed a lot of fiend qi and miasma, which made it even more ferocious. Even if Jiang Tian wanted to take it down, he would have to use many divine abilities and secret arts by force, let alone these monks of the devil-subduing temple who were only at the false core foundation establishment realm. If they made a move, they had no chance of winning at all. It was simply sending their heads to their deaths. Fellow Taoist Grand Primordium, you're too ignorant. You don't know the methods of my devil-suppressing temple. I'm sure you've seen my devil-suppressing temple's supreme dharma, and you'll also have the resolve to convert." Pudu shouted as he slapped a demon-suppressing steel away. After that, the Arhats, eminent monks, and dharma protectors all showed off their abilities. They either shattered the demon-subduing monument or overturned it. Rumble. The mountains shook. It was as if there were countless gigantic dragons that were hundreds of feet long moving about underground. The gigantic tree slowly rose up, and there was a gigantic black ball under its roots. The black ball kept bulging, as if it were a ball of thread that was entangled with countless black threads. Those python-like roots wriggled crazily. Countless white bones were entangled between the roots, and there were at least a few hundred of them. "She's eaten so many people before." Zen Master Deshin looked at those white bones and couldn't help but feel terrified. Right then, he vaguely realized that this root demon might be even more powerful and terrifying than Li Longyuan, Monster King Bai Zhe and the master of the Heavenly God sect, who had dominated this continent back then. So scary. Chu Yunxiu's face also changed color. She turned pale and cold sweat covered her back. "My Buddha is merciful. The sea of bitterness is boundless, repent and you'll be saved." "Tree demon, put down your knife and you'll be able to become a Buddha immediately. Convert. Zen Master Pudu shouted with a kind face and an infinite light shining from his body. I'm free. I'm finally free. Countless shrill voices sounded in all directions. In the valley, around the lake and on the mountain, more roots surged out and waved. On top of each root, there was a naked seductive woman. Suddenly, the expressions of all the seductive women changed. They became extremely evil and sinister. Thousands of seductive women spoke together. Their complicated voices made one's scalp tingle. Monster Bai Zhe said, I ate too many people and suppressed me here. Thank you bald insects for letting me go. I can finally eat people again. Chi. The beauties on the roots suddenly turned into sharp swords, spears, and skeletons that attacked the monks. 8 styles of demon suppression. Golden bell shield of Buddha light. Thunder divine fist. The eminent monks shouted in unison and executed their dharma and divine arts. Rumble. Some monks formed huge golden bells that shone with golden light to cover their bodies. Some punched at the roots, and lightning condensed into a huge fist. Some opened ancient Buddhist scriptures. Large golden characters flowed out and formed a barrier. But everything was useless in front of the sharp roots. Puff. 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 Blood splattered. The shrill screams made one's hair stand on end. In the blink of an eye, several monks of the demon suppression temple were pierced by the roots of the tree demon. Suddenly, the whole place was filled with shrill screams. Chi. The golden bell shield of Samantabhadra was easily pierced by the roots as if it was made of wax. Blood gushed out like a tide as the root pierced through his chest and lifted him up high. At the same time, countless arm-like tentacles stretched out from the roots and grabbed him tightly. Let go of me. Although Samantabhadra practiced Buddhist telekinesis, his cultivation was comparable to the late stage of foundation establishment. He didn't die immediately. Blood spurted out of his mouth like arrows, but he still punched at the roots. Why should I let you go? The roots that pierced through his chest transformed into a beautiful woman. She stuck out her scarlet tongue and licked his smooth scalp while giggling. You saved me. I haven't repaid you yet. Stay and become one with me. Then, she opened her mouth to the extreme. Her ears were torn. At the same time, her head expanded rapidly and turned into a devil head that was as dense as black glue. She swallowed Samantabhadra. Soon, Samantabhadra's face appeared on another root that was growing and expanding rapidly. He still looked like the original, but his voice had changed. He laughed wildly and said, Senior brother, come on. Become one with me. It feels so powerful. Ha! It sounded so evil that it made one's scalp tingle. This scene scared many monks out of their wits. Their legs turned to jelly. Die, evildoer. Master Poo Poo soared into the sky. He waved the crescent moon shovel and cut off the head of the beauty who ate Samantabhadra. Chi! The beauty's head fell to the ground and immediately rotted into a piece of rotten wood. The woman on the tree grew a new head. My crescent moon shovel has been strengthened by Grand Master's Buddhist doctrine. It can even kill a demon beast in the false elixir realm. What? Master Poo Poo was shocked. He soared into the sky again, trying to cut off the root. Suddenly, a branch as thick as an arm snaked over like a poisonous snake. It was faster than lightning and pierced through his internal organs. Ah! It hurts! Samantabhadra shouted. He used his Buddhist magic and condensed countless light swords, trying to cut off the branches. However, the 10 or so branches and vines exerted their strength together and pulled in all directions as if they were being torn apart by 5 horses. Bang! Bang! Master Poo Poo exploded into pieces and turned into a rain of sparkling flesh that fell to the ground. Senior brothers and junior brothers, let's go first. Anyway, this demon is in the Demon Cave Mountain. Even if she kills people indiscriminately, she will only kill the bandits of the Demon Cave Mountain. we can be considered to have gotten rid of the evil for the people. Master Pu Guang's heart almost exploded when he saw his senior brothers and junior brothers dying one by one. Cold sweat covered his back and he could no longer be proud. He soared into the sky on a lotus seat made of Buddhist light. His speed was so fast that he could cover hundreds of meters with a single step. Between the messy roots, branches, and leaves, he dashed left and right, flying higher and higher. In the blink of an eye, he had covered a distance of 1 mile. Run! Run! This demon tree is too scary. The other monks were also scared out of their wits. They cried for their parents and used their movement techniques to escape in all directions while riding on rays of light. But suddenly, with a rumbling sound, the rubble on the ground below flew into the air. Black tentacles full of bumps stretched out from the rocks like the hands of demons and entangled Master Pu Guang and the monks who wanted to escape. Let me go. Ha! Master Pu Guang was shocked. He used the Buddha's Vajra hand and slapped at the tentacles. At the same time, the prayer beads, wooden fish, small drum, and alms bowl on his body emitted Buddhist light and exploded. But it was useless. The Buddhist light was absorbed by the demon tree. His flesh and blood disappeared in the blink of an eye and he became a shriveled skin bag. How can this be? How can it be so powerful? Seeing his senior brothers and junior brothers being swallowed by the demon tree one by one, Master Pudu was dumbfounded. He could not believe it. Then, he opened his eyes wide and roared like a thunderclap, "Tree demon, you better submit to me. Otherwise, this poor monk will slay the demon." "Ha, bald donkey, do you have that ability?" The demon tree laughed strangely. Thousands of women spoke at the same time, waving their tentacle-like branches and roots. "Thousand-armed Buddha!" Master Pudu shouted. The halo of Buddhist light behind his head shone brightly. His psyche power, chi, and Buddhist light gushed out and turned into a figure of 1,000 hands that was 100 meters tall and had 1,000 arms behind him. "Kill!" Master Pudu shouted and attacked together with the 1,000-armed Buddha behind him. Violent waves of chi surged out, blowing up smoke and dust. Rocks flew everywhere, and the 10-meter-long stone tablet was blown away like a withered leaf. Boom! The 1,000-armed Buddha stepped forward like an ancient deity and came to the demon tree. The thousands of Dharma artifacts and weapons in its hands smashed at the demon tree. "Ha, Master Pudu, even your grandmaster was no match for me back then. You're underestimating me by using the 1,000-armed Buddha against me." The thousands of women of the demon tree said contemptuously. Suddenly, countless roots surged and entangled, forming a giant ball of thread with a radius of 10 meters in the blink of an eye. It vaguely took the shape of a fist. The fist made of roots covered the sky. It was enormous and surging with fiend chi. It fell from the sky and smashed at the head of the 1,000-armed Buddha. Chapter 940. Clang! The 1,000-armed Buddha was smashed into the ground. The golden Buddha's aura dimmed and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Rumble! The explosion was earth-shattering. Billowing waves of air blasted out, creating a huge crater with a radius of dozens of meters. Puff! Master Pudu suffered the backlash of his dermic powers. He spat out a mouthful of blood and staggered back. 3 of his ribs were broken. Delicious, delicious! What a fragrant monk! The tree demon did not stay idle when it repelled Master Pudu. Its countless roots continued to attack the other eminent monks. In the blink of an eye, dozens of eminent monks died. Their corpses were devoured and absorbed. They could not escape even if they wanted to. "Tree demon, shut up!" Master Pudu threw out a 1,000-layer pagoda, golden alms bowl, prayer beads, and many other Dharma treasures to suppress it. The pagoda was filled with Buddha's aura. Scriptures floated in the prayer beads, emitting 100 feet of light. But it was useless. In the blink of an eye, the tree demon tainted the Dharma treasures with demonic chi and dispersed their dermic powers. What? It destroyed more than a dozen of my Dharma treasures in the blink of an eye. Run! Run! Seeing this, Master Pudu's heart sank into the abyss with a thud. He hurriedly shouted. Master, we can't run. Zen Master Deshin used his dermic powers to resist, but he wanted to cry but had no tears. The tree demon's range was too wide. It covered the entire valley. Every time they rushed to the edge of the valley, countless roots would sweep them back and force them back. Master, what should we do? Abbot, help! Countless monks were shouting and screaming. Their voices were extremely shrill. This was a scene dyed in blood, tragic to the extreme. Blood dyed the sky. The eminent monks' dermic powers were broken by the branches and their bodies were pierced. The tree demon's branches were like the tentacles of a giant octopus. They danced in the air, entangling the arhats and strangling them to death. Demonic chi surged into the sky like a tide. The Vajra's chi and blood were absorbed in the blink of an eye. They were reduced to dry corpses. Some had even turned into white bones. How could this be? How could this be? Is the demon subduing temple going to end here today? At this moment, Master Pudu was at his wit's end. The bald donkey was at his wit's end. His heart was filled with despair and regret. He finally realized in despair how wrong he was. He had eyes but failed to see. Jiang Tian's reminder was on point and pertinent. At this moment, he was filled with regret. If he had listened to Jiang Tian, how could he have suffered such a great loss? In today's battle, the demon-subduing temple had suffered heavy losses. They had tried to steal a chicken only to end up losing the rice used to lure it. This could be said to be their greatest loss in several hundred years. Suddenly, Master Pudu wondered if Kang Te-Chu had perished in the battle since the tree demon was so ferocious. He glanced around from the corner of his eyes and saw that Jiang Tian and the others had already retreated to the entrance of the valley. Jiang Tian's body emitted a dazzling golden light, forming a protective shield that firmly protected his companions. Those roots were like bloodthirsty vipers, constantly drilling into the golden barrier. However, they were bounced off by the light shield time and time again and even exploded in the air. Jiang Tian and the others were not hurt at all. Fellow Taoist Jiang, help us. Master Pudu suddenly realized that Jiang Tian had the ability to restrain these roots. He shouted with tears in his eyes. Master Pudu, I owe you. Why should I save you? Besides, it's not like I didn't warn you. You're the ones who are confident. Jiang Tian did not bother to pay attention to him. He flung his sleeves and snorted coldly. This. Master Pudu was speechless. Jiang Tian was right. Today, they came to threaten Jiang Tian. They even wanted to kill Jiang Tian. If Jiang Tian did not surrender, they would kill him. Now, they were begging Jiang Tian for help. This was a bit too much. Tai Chu Immortal Master, we were wrong. Please suppress them. Zen Master Deshin flew to Jiang Tian and knelt down to beg. Yes, Brother Jiang, please save them. Besides, if this root demon rushes out, the Demon Cave Mountain will also suffer. Now, the Demon Cave Mountain is your territory, right? Xiao Yingluo also tried to persuade him. Alright then, I'll do it. Deshin, remember that you owe me a favor. Jiang Tian pondered for a while and finally shook his head with a bitter smile. Originally, he wanted to refine and absorb this whirling divine tree. The reason why he did not do it was because he was thinking about the most effective secret technique just now. Now that he was 100% sure, it was not bad to do Deshin a favor. Deshin kowtowed again and again, full of gratitude. Meanwhile, the big demon Baizhe and Chu Yunxiu looked smug as if their evil plan had succeeded. After Baizhe was subdued by Jiang Tian with the feather robe, star crown, and cloud-slashing boots, he had been thinking hard about how to break it. He had tried many times but failed. He knew that if Jiang Tian was still alive and kept strengthening these demon suppression talismans, he would never have the chance to break it. But if Jiang Tian was dead, it would be a different story. With his powerful divine sense, he would definitely be able to erase the demon suppression talisman's magic power in 10 years. At that time, he would regain his freedom. Therefore, he thought of a way, and that was to use the root demon to kill Jiang Tian. Moreover, he did not expect that Jiang Tian would take the initiative to ask for wood attribute cultivation resources. It was exactly what he wanted. However, he did not expect that the demon suppression temple's darn baldies would suddenly attack and insist on uprooting the demon suppression steels to convert the tree demon. They were the first to bear the brunt, which made Jiang Tian realize how powerful and terrifying these tree demons were. Bai Zai immediately lost all hope. How could Kang Taichu dare to fight the tree demons to the death? He did not expect that Jiang Tian would be so foolish and bold as to fight the tree demons to save these baldies. At this time, Bai Zai was overjoyed. He was so happy that he wanted to jump up. Kang Taichu, oh Kang Taichu, hurry up and go to your death. Even I can't beat this thing, haha. He was so happy that he accidentally said baldies. He hurriedly covered his mouth, his eyes full of shock. Ha, I heard it. Jiang Tian turned to look at him and sneered. Do you think that I can't kill this tree demon? Bai Zai's eyes darted around, his mind whirling. Suddenly, he made up his mind and decided to goad him. He snorted arrogantly. You can't kill him. If you can kill him, I'll kneel down and lick your toes, and be your underling. The sincere kind. I also think that you can't kill him. Chu Yunxiu also decided to add fuel to the fire. She said disdainfully, I think you're just scared. If I kill him, you'll lick him too. Jiang Tian said sarcastically. Chu Yunxiu gnashed her teeth in hatred, wishing that she could swallow Jiang Tian alive. She snorted. Fine, I'll lick him. Anyway, you'll die if you go out. I'll let you show off. Good. Jiang Tian snorted and walked toward the tree demon casually. Master, be careful. Yi Tianren warned. He was very worried for Jiang Tian. After all, this tree demon was too scary. However, he was immediately shocked. What a solid true essence. You don't come from this world. When Jiang Tian approached, the thousands of women on the tree demons all revealed expressions of fear and dread. Whoosh! It was like a cat whose hair was standing on end. Countless tentacle-like roots, branches, and leaves threw many monks aside. They wriggled like giant pythons and turned into all kinds of weapons. They even took the forms of all kinds of strange demon beasts and attacked Jiang Tian together. Good. This kid actually made a move. Master Pudu was very pleased. There was a strange light in his eyes, and there was even a hint of gloating. It's best if both sides are injured, then I'll kill them both. I want everyone in the world to become my believers and worship me. Moreover, at that time, I can say that it was Kang Taichu who pulled out the demon-suppressing monument and colluded with the tree demon. The monks of the demon-suppressing temple were all killed by Kang Taichu. I won't be responsible. After all, it was his idea to pull out the demon-suppressing monument, reveal the endless Buddhist power, and convert Jiang Tian. However, he made a big mistake and caused the death of the monks of the demon-suppressing temple. He had become a sinner of the demon-suppressing temple. Moreover, if the tree demon rushed out, it would bring disaster to Demon Cave Mountain and even the entire Heavenly Star's small world. He would become the target of public criticism, the laughingstock of the world, the evil of the world. Go to hell. Jiang Tian walked toward the tree demon step by step. He shouted and patted the sky-devouring demon gourd at his waist. Swoosh! 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 What? He can cut off the tree demon's branches. Chu Yunxiu's face was pale with fright. She never thought that Jiang Tian would be so powerful. This kid's flying sword is so sharp. Bai Zai's face was filled with disbelief. The tree demon had been around for too long. Even the master of the heavenly god couldn't kill it. He could only use the demon-suppressing monument to suppress it. Moreover, it was suppressed by the master of the heavenly god and hundreds of nascent soul realm ancestors. Thousands of years ago, when the foreign experts invaded, the tree demon was infected with demonic chi and became even stronger. Then, the master of the heavenly god split open the galaxy teleportation formation and formed the solitary sword valley. He unintentionally split open the demon-suppressing monument. At that time, only one of the tree demon's roots was freed. However, it became even stronger. It killed thousands of immortals, demonic beasts, and human cultivators. Thousands of years ago, Bai, who had reached the nascent soul realm, joined forces with many ancestors to suppress the tree demon. In that battle, dozens of nascent soul realm and false core realm experts were killed. The heavenly star small world suffered a great loss. It fell from a third-grade cultivation world to a fourth-grade cultivation world. That battle had only been able to suppress a single tendril within Solitary Sword Valley. It could be said that even Li Longyuan, Bai, and the master of the heavenly god didn't dare to attack the tree demon. The few times they attacked, they had joined forces with many experts. If it was a one-on-one battle, none of the experts in the stellar sky domain had the ability to fight. But now, Jiang Tian didn't seem to be at a disadvantage. How could he not be shocked? Chapter 941. Roar, roar, roar. Countless branches were cut off. The tree demon howled miserably like thousands of ghosts, making people's scalp numb. Boom. Thousands of branches and roots wriggled quickly and condensed into a ball, forming a huge ball of thread with a radius of more than 10 meters. It crazily smashed towards Jiang Tian. Seal. Jiang Tian used a seal technique. Boom. Surging restriction power spread out in all directions and surged towards the tree demon like a tide. Boundless restrictive power flickered with golden light. Boundless runes floated up and down, like the flickering of stars. In the blink of an eye, the seal enveloped the tree demon and formed a huge seal ball with a radius of 1 kilometer with it as the center. The tree demon was immediately fixed in place. Its branches and roots were frozen in the air like dead snakes. Countless beautiful women on the tree were full of resentment. They crazily twisted their bodies and hissed, "Let me go. You little thief, let me go and I'll spare you this time. Otherwise, I'll cut you into pieces." Cut. Thousands of flying swords didn't stop. They shuttled back and forth in the air like fish, cutting off branches one by one. His restrictive power is actually so profound and vast. Monster King Bai was deeply shocked again. Chu Yunxiu was also stunned. She looked at Jiang Tian as if she had seen a ghost. Her face was full of disbelief. This was the tree demon that even the master of the heavenly gods sect and Monster King Bai were wary of. However, it was restrained by Jiang Tian. But the more shocking thing was yet to come. Whether it was the flying swords or the seal technique, they were just means that Jiang Tian controlled. The real killing move hadn't been used yet. Swish. This tree demon was very powerful. Several python-like roots actually broke free from the restraints of the restriction after twisting crazily. The root heads turned into spears and sharp swords, streaking across the sky and piercing towards Jiang Tiandong. Heaven-swallowing demonic art, sun furnace. Jiang Tian's expression turned serious. He let out a low shout and finally used his strongest move. Buzz. A voice like a great bell shook the void. In front of Jiang Tian's chest, a huge true essence furnace gradually emerged. At first, the furnace was very small, only a few meters in radius. However, it quickly expanded and became larger and larger. In the blink of an eye, it had reached a radius of several hundred meters, completely enveloping the entire tree demon, including its roots and branches. What is this? Let me out. Sir, this concubine is convinced. Let this concubine go. This concubine is willing to make your bed and fold your quilt for you. I'll be your maid and make you happy. Little thief, let me out. Otherwise, I'll tear you into 1,000 pieces and burn your bones to ashes. On top of the tree demons, countless women had different expressions and tones. Some had tears in their beautiful eyes, and they were pleading pitifully. Some had terrified faces, and they were screaming miserably. Some were baring their teeth, and they were shouting angrily. But no matter what, they were unable to break free from the control of the secret technique of the great sun furnace. Even the branches that had risen up to attack had fallen to the ground like dead snakes. This furnace is so scary. Bai Zhe knew what was good and looked at the great sun furnace in shock. The furnace was simple and natural in shape. Countless Tao patterns and runes were carved on it. Each line was profound and cryptic, carrying with it the aura of time. It seemed to have come from the primordial chaos of the beginning of the universe, crossing tens of thousands of years. It did not belong to this world at all. In the blink of an eye, huge blazing dragons formed in the depths of the furnace. They stretched and surged, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws as they lunged at the tree demon. There were also huge blazing suns floating in the air. They were like halos of the sun, emitting endless blazing light. Jiang Tian had once used the great sun furnace of the heaven-devouring demonic technique against the leader of the Great Circle, Lin Zhenyu. But at that time, Jiang Tian was only at the middle stage of qi refinement and could only imitate some of its charm. But now that Jiang Tian had reached foundation establishment, its power had increased tenfold, 100-fold. Ah! What is this? Let me out. It hurts. The tree demon howled miserably. The roots and vines waved crazily and emitted billowing black fiend qi, trying to resist. But the flames in the great sun furnace were red like boiling magma. Many blazing suns shone in the sky, almost like the essence of the sun. Its temperature and dharma power far exceeded the flames of the samadhi true fire and li fire essence. The vines and roots could not rush out at all. The billowing fiend qi was also quickly burned away. The roots were ignited and the woman inside was turned into charcoal, being refined bit by bit. But the heaven-devouring demonic technique was too powerful. It was an immortal emperor-level technique. The Great Sun Furnace was one of the most powerful techniques, comparable to a supreme divine artifact. It could refine all fiend qi, miasma, poison, and true essence. If Jiang Tian used it after reaching the true god level, he could even swallow a star and refine a part of the universe. But now, Jiang Tian had the power of a fourth-level foundation establishment. Although he could only imitate a few hundred square meters, it was extremely easy for him to subdue a tree demon that had just reached nascent soul level. Moreover, this tree demon had been suppressed for 1,000 years and had not eaten for a long time. It was already in its weakest state. Jiang Tian had the power to crush it. How is this possible? I'm a 10,000-year-old tree demon. I'm nourished by fiend qi and have absorbed endless poison. Even the master of the heavenly gods sect is no match for me. How can you suppress me? The tree demon roared angrily like a fiend god that had walked out of hell, with endless killing intent and resentment. He used all kinds of methods in a frenzy. Countless branches and roots turned into swords, spears, swords, and halberds. They turned into demon beasts and ferocious birds and charged, wanting to tear the great sun furnace apart. Kang Te-chu is going to win. I can't wait any longer. This is the time. Master Pudu's eyes hardened. He released a Buddha plaque at the back of Jiang Tian's head, wanting to take the opportunity to kill Jiang Tian. Master, you, the Xen noticed this and couldn't help but cry out in alarm. It's useless. The more you use it, the more your fiend qi will be nourished by my great sun furnace. The power of the great sun furnace will also become stronger. Jiang Tian didn't seem to notice Pudu's sneak attack. His face was calm as he firmly controlled the great sun furnace and refined it unhurriedly. His clothes fluttered, his face was as calm as still water, and his temperament was otherworldly. He didn't look like the senior monks of the demon-subduing temple who were anxious and angry when fighting. He was like a supreme god that had descended. Refining a big demon was like cooking a small fish. He looked relaxed and casual. Yes. No. I'm not confident. Seeing that Jiang Tian was completely crushing him, Pudu's heart trembled, but he still took back the Buddha plaque that had flown 100 meters away. Because Jiang Tian's strength was too terrifying, he felt that his sneak attack this time might not succeed. You demon, what kind of demonic magic are you using? It's so terrifying. Sure enough, the tree demon found that the endless fiend qi, and vitality were all being absorbed by the great sun furnace, causing the vital essence in the shape of a giant dragon to boil even more. Beside him, Qiao Yingluo wanted to laugh. Brother Jiang was really too powerful and too fierce. He was actually called a demon by a big demon. He was really a demon among demons. At this time, the tree demon's branches and roots turned to ashes. Countless leaves and branches rustled and fell. The women on the branches and roots all withered and withered. Even half of the thick tree trunk was burned. It was about to die. Kill, kill, kill. I can't die, I won't die. Suddenly, the tree demon roared. Waves of black fiend qi floated out of the trunk and gathered into a huge skeleton demon. It opened its mouth and rushed toward Jiang Tian. At this time, he had already realized that his body was about to die, so he used the black fiend qi to attack. Soul-devouring divine sense, eat it for me. Jiang Tian snorted. The small golden lake in his forehead swayed, and a black soul-devouring divine sense probed out like sticky black glue. The soul-devouring divine sense was as thick as a bucket. It divided into 2 in the air, 2 into 3, 3 into 4, as if 3 gave birth to all things. In an instant, it divided into tens of thousands of divine senses. The tens of thousands of divine senses stretched out like black glue. They were dense and intertwined like countless tentacles. They drilled into the fiend qi and fiend qi of the fiend qi and fiend qi of the fiend qi. Bang! With a sound, the fiend qi was swallowed up by the soul-devouring divine sense. The soul-devouring divine sense shrank back into Jiang Tian's mind. At the same time, the tree demon's huge trunk shook and cracked. Countless fragments fell from the sky like a heavy downpour. Immediately after, the entire ground of the valley seemed to have been flipped over. Countless roots jumped out of the ground like huge snakes, turning into pieces of black charcoal amidst the tumbling of the ground. Some roots didn't have time to jump out of the ground and completely collapsed. The ground directly collapsed into deep pits, the deepest of which was more than 10 meters deep. It was a shocking sight. Rumble. Finally, the tree demon's huge trunk fell to the ground powerlessly. The black charcoal pieces piled up into a small hill. At this moment, the whole place fell into a dead silence. This tree demon that had once wreaked havoc in the small world of stars for thousands of years, suppressed the sect leaders and killed dozens of eminent monks in the blink of an eye, was completely refined by Jiang Tian in a few seconds. His true essence became a furnace, the sun rose in the sky, and the fire dragons swallowed and spat. He refined the 1,000-year-old demon as if he were cooking a small fish. He did it. Is he still a human? Chu Yunxiu seemed to have been drained of all her energy. She became a clay statue and was stiff on the spot, motionless. This Kong Te Chu is obviously from Earth. How can he be so powerful? The dozens of eminent monks of the demon subduing temple were deeply shocked and full of disbelief. He's too powerful. Everyone looked at Jiang Tian, who was standing in the air and controlling the grand sun furnace, as if they were looking at a god. How is this possible? Even Master Pudu was dumbfounded. He felt like he was in a dream. Chapter 942. When Pudu saw that Jiang Tian didn't dare to fight with Desolator, he thought that Jiang Tian was only at the second level of foundation establishment. But when he saw that Jiang Tian could condense a shield to defend against the tree demon's attack, he realized that Jiang Tian's cultivation was most likely at the level of fake core. Thus, he thought that Jiang Tian was on par with the tree demon, or even slightly inferior. Therefore, he thought that he could sneak attack Jiang Tian while the two of them were fighting each other with injuries. But he didn't expect that Jiang Tian's strength was even more terrifying than he thought. At this time, he could no longer guess Jiang Tian's strength. It was as if he couldn't guess how vast the universe was. Brother Jiang is too powerful. Xiao Yingluo was so excited that her face turned red. She raised her arms and shouted. Yi Tianren and the old dragon's worship surged in their hearts, and they couldn't help but kowtow as if they were seeing a god. Big Demon Baizhe also widened his eyes. This kid was even more powerful than the Holy Heaven Sect master. From the looks of it, it seems that he is qualified enough to be my master. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Jiang Tian waved his hand and took a green object from the pile of charcoal. He sacrificed it into the sky-devouring demon gourd, then walked over step by step and landed on the ground. Sigh, after all, he hadn't turned into a fire attribute physique, so he couldn't use the great sun furnace smoothly. Otherwise, if he turned into a fire attribute divine physique, the great sun furnace would be at his fingertips. Why would he need a breath to kill the tree demon? Jiang Tian thought of his peak state in his previous life and sighed in his heart. Seeing Jiang Tian land on the ground, everyone finally reacted. Zen Master De Xian stepped forward and kowtowed deeply. Thank you, Immortal Master Jiang, for your help. De Xian will definitely repay your kindness. The other monks also bowed to Jiang Tian. Such a person was too terrifying. He might have the strength to fight Li Longyuan head-on. They couldn't offend him. But at this time, Jiang Tian's body shook, and blood seeped out of the corner of his mouth. Seeing this, Pudu was surprised. His divine sense swept towards Jiang Tian's dantian and could not help but reveal a gloating smile. Then, he stopped smiling and put his palms together. Master Kong, your soul is occupied by devil chi and devil consciousness. Are you injured? At this moment, he had already discovered that there was a large amount of black devil chi entrenched in Jiang Tian's mind. It hadn't been completely refined, and was clashing with the soul devourer, causing Jiang Tian to vomit blood. This was because the soul devourer was originally plundered by Jiang Tian from Nie Mingyuan's body. It wasn't easy to use it. Refining devil chi wasn't something that could be done overnight. Moreover, Jiang Tian's dantian was also lifeless. It was shrouded by thick black demonic chi and had no signs of life at all. Under such circumstances, he was already being polite by saying that Jiang Tian was injured. He should have said that Jiang Tian's cultivation had dissipated and he had become a cripple. Just refine this demonic chi. Why do you have to devour it? This is bad. His mind might be in a mess and he might go mad. At this moment, Great Demon Baizhe also noticed the changes in Jiang Tian and was shocked. Jiang Tian did look a little demonic at this moment. The white in his eyes had decreased, and his black pupils had expanded. The devil chi was torrential, exuding a cruel and bloodthirsty aura. This devil chi had already begun to spread to Jiang Tian's dantian, causing it to turn pitch black. Jiang Tian glanced at Pudu coldly and said, "What does it have to do with you whether I'm injured or not?" Pudu's face stiffened, then he smiled and said, "Immortal Master Jiang, the demon-subduing temple has 3 scrolls of the Great Freedom Demon-subduing mantra. If you convert to the demon-subduing temple and become my disciple, I will teach you this supreme skill. Get lost." Jiang Tian's eyes flickered with murderous intent as he said coldly, "I'm already being merciful by not killing you. If you dare to make trouble again, I won't be polite to you. Immortal Master Jiang, I'm giving you face and giving you this opportunity because I want to repay your kindness." Pudu was furious and said, "Do you know that you have the devil chi? Do you know that you won't be able to refine the devil chi that has invaded your body? If this continues, you will lose all of your cultivation base and become a cripple. Or, your behavior will become erratic, like a mad demon or a wild dog. You will become a beast. Now, you have offended the Starry Palace and the other major forces. You are the target of public criticism. Li Longyuan wants to kill you, and the major cities and sects regard you as a mortal enemy. Don't you know that? You are absolutely helpless against this devil chi, but in my opinion, it is extremely simple. You only need to recite the Great Freedom Demon Subduing Mantra for a year to refine the endless devil chi. Originally, if you had asked me nicely, I would have helped you, but you actually treated me like this. Well, I can't be bothered with you. The other eminent monks were also angry and criticized Jiang Tian, as if Jiang Tian didn't know what was good for him. Immortal Master Jiang, our demon-subduing temple kindly came to guide you to convert, lest you be killed by Li Longyuan. How can you have such an attitude? Now that the devil chi has entered your body, your divine sense is chaotic, and your cultivation has dropped greatly. If you don't know how to appreciate kindness, then wait to be killed. Uncle Masters, don't be disrespectful to Immortal Master Jiang. After all, he just saved everyone. Only Zen Master Da Xian bowed and apologized to Jiang Tian, earnestly persuading everyone. What kind of eminent monks are you? How can you be so shameless? Big brother Jiang has already saved you, but you are still threatening him. You can just lend the scriptures to big brother Jiang. Why must you convert him to your demon-subduing temple? Xiao Yingluo was so angry that her face turned pale. She couldn't believe it. It was as if a group of people had fallen into the water and someone had saved them, but they wanted to extort the rescuer. What about converting Jiang Tian and converting Jiang Tian? It sounded nice, but wasn't it just making Jiang Tian a slave and servant for them to use? I said that on this mainland, only our demon-subduing temple has the ability to refine the devil chi. Pudu remained unmoved. He glanced at Jiang Tian with a slight sneer as if Jiang Tian was already a dead man. Then, he lifted his foot and left. He was sure that Jiang Tian was in a very bad situation now. He was only at the second level of foundation establishment, and previously, he had used the energy explosion pill and other elixirs to forcibly increase his cultivation. He was already on the verge of death. Now that the devil chi had entered his body, his combat power would drop a lot and he would be vulnerable. It could be said that even if the Feather Guard attacked, Jiang Tian might not be able to withstand it, let alone Li Longyuan. He would be killed in minutes. Therefore, he was sure that Jiang Tian would admit defeat and bow his head to the demon-subduing temple to admit his mistake. Master Pudu walked calmly to the mouth of the valley, but he was counting down in his heart. 3, 2, 1. Stop. Behind Master Pudu, Jiang Tian's voice suddenly sounded. A sneer appeared at the corner of Master Pudu's mouth, and he snorted proudly in his heart. Humph, he still took the bait. This was all part of their plan. From the moment he invited Jiang Tian to convert to the demon-subduing temple, it was a show, a big show against Jiang Tian. As long as Jiang Tian converted to the demon-subduing temple, Master Pudu would immediately place Jiang Tian in the 1,000 Buddha pagoda and use Buddhist teachings to convert him. There were 1,000 golden arhats in the pagoda, as well as a huge amount of telekinesis. He said that he would convert the demonic thoughts in Jiang Tian's mind, but in fact, he would slowly grind Jiang Tian's divine sense into pieces. These 1,000 arhats had a great background. They were the abbot of the demon-subduing temple, Arhat Vajra. Not to mention that Jiang Tian's cultivation had dropped greatly and his dantian was damaged. Even if he was at his peak state, he would not be able to resist. Once his divine sense was destroyed, his supernatural powers would be destroyed, and his physical body would be reduced to that of an ordinary person. At that time, Jiang Tian would be at the mercy of anyone who could stab him to death with a finger. It could be said that Monster King Baizhe had underestimated their scheming and thought that they were too kind. He thought that they were guiding Jiang Tian to convert to strengthen the demon-subduing temple. But in fact, Master Pudu and the higher-ups of the demon-subduing temple had never intended to let Jiang Tian live. Hearing Jiang Tian's words, Master Pudu slowly turned around, flicked his sleeves, and said proudly, "What? Immortal Master Jiang, are you regretting it? If you had been polite to me earlier, you wouldn't have humiliated yourself." Many eminent monks were also sneering. What number one person on earth? What demon cave mountain master? No matter how glorious and powerful you are still a coward who is afraid of death. you still have to bow your head to the demon-subduing temple. But as soon as Master Pudu finished speaking, Jiang Tian's face was full of mockery. He said coldly, regret being polite to you? You think too highly of yourself. You secretly plotted against me with the Buddha amulet. Did you think that I, Kang Te-chu, am easy to bully? Today, I will kill you. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone's expression changed drastically. Xiaoying Luo's face was even paler. She knew that Jiang Tian was not going to bow his head and admit defeat, but was going to fight them to the death. Master Pudu was slightly taken aback, then he looked up to the sky and laughed. Ha, Kang Te-chu, that's right, I wanted to kill you just now. Don't tell me you still want to settle accounts with me. He was unscrupulous and arrogant. He did not look like an eminent monk at all. Isn't it up to me to decide whether I want to convert you or kill a demon like you to guard the vicissitudes of righteousness? Your life and death are completely in my hands. And have you forgotten that the demonic aura has entered your body and you've lost all your cultivation? How dare you question me now? Jiang Tian said lightly, I haven't forgotten my demonic aura. But even if I lose all my cultivation, I'm still not someone you can provoke. Little White. Jiang Tian shouted. You called me? Why are you calling me? Bai Zhe walked out lazily, looking as if he wouldn't do anything even if he was beaten to death. He was a little depressed. I'm a demon king with a lifespan of thousands of years. You call me Little White? Why does it sound like a dog's name? Jiang Tian looked at his dead face and felt angry. He shouted, that's enough. Do you still want to kneel down and lick my toes? If you don't, kill him for me. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Do you think I'll kill you just because you want me to? Bai Zhe sneered, but he was already approaching Master Pudu, muttering shyly, I'm the ruler of this world. I'm going to conquer the Sea of Stars in the future. You're just a little foundation establishment cultivator. If you want me to help you, you'd better say, please. Then he raised his hand and pointed at Master Pudu, shouting like an old man. Little bald donkey, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and kneel down and lick my toes. Chapter 943. You want him to kill me? He's not even a teenager. He's like an ant. Do you think he's a match for me? Master Pudu couldn't believe it. He sneered. Bai Zhe's original body had been damaged by Li Longyuan. It was in between a human form and a demon form. He had reformed this human form. Judging from his qi, blood, and age, he was indeed a teenager. Bai Zhe was a demon with a lifespan of more than 1,000 years. He was older than Yuan Tiangang and the great grandmaster of the demon-subduing temple. Master Pudu and he were not from the same era. Master Pudu had never seen him, so he naturally didn't know him. No. I have to run. Otherwise, he'll kill me later. Seeing that everyone was paying attention to Jiang Tian and Bai Zhe and no one was paying attention to her, Chu Yunxiu retreated step by step. After taking dozens of steps back quietly, she stepped on the flying sword and flew away without looking back. In the blink of an eye, she disappeared into the night. Ant? Bai Zhe was furious. Demon chi soared around him. He turned around and slapped at Master Pudu. Boom! Crack! Bai Zhe's palm grew hair as it slapped down. The sharp bone hook grew rapidly. When it hit Master Pudu, it was already a demon claw the size of a millstone. Boom! There was a loud noise. Master Pudu was slapped into the ground. He spat out blood. His bones and tendons were broken, and his monk robe was tattered. Little bald donkey, how dare you call me an ant? Kneel down to immortal Master Jiang. Lick our toes. Bai Zhe smiled darkly and waved his hand. Several gusts of demon wind controlled Master Pudu to crawl toward Jiang Tian. He knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing. He even opened his mouth and licked Jiang Tian's shoes. Bai Zhe was too strong. Even Li Longyuan and Li Longyuan's ancestors were no match for him, let alone Master Pudu. Kang Te-chu, he's a demon. He's a great demon. Master Pudu was shocked and angry. He shouted loudly. How dare you raise demons? You're with demons. You are truly a devil, and your crimes are unforgivable. He was the abbot of the Demon Suppression Temple, an esteemed monk of his generation. Yet, he was being forced to kneel before Jiang Tian by a demon. He even wanted to lick Jiang Tian's toes. This was a great humiliation. He, didn't you want to convert me? Jiang Tian stepped on Master Pudu's face. Come, continue to convert me. What kind of bullshit incantation is that? Recite it to me. Kang Te-chu, this poor monk came here today to establish good karma. How dare you humiliate me like this, do you know? Master Pudu was about to threaten them. Bang! Jiang Tian stepped on Master Pudu's face again. Jiang! Chu! Master Pudu roared angrily, his eyes almost popping out of their sockets. You've gone too far. I'm abbot of Demon Subduing Temple. I know about him, but he's nothing. Jiang Tian stepped on him again and snorted. I'm bullying you, I'm humiliating you, and I'm stepping on you. What can you do about it? Jiang Tian stepped on him until his yellow teeth fell out, his nose was bleeding, and his face was deformed. I don't need to be at the peak of my cultivation to step on you. My devil chi has entered my body, and I've lost all my cultivation, but I'm still stepping on you. What can you do about it? Get up and bite me. Cough. Master Pudu's mouth was bleeding, and he coughed violently. He was so miserable that he could not say a word. Humph. Convert me. Convert to your demon suppression temple and become your disciple. Who gave you the courage to do that? Bang! Jiang Tianfei raised his leg and kicked his nose, causing blood to gush out from his nose. Jiang Tian snorted mockingly. I saved you, and you still want to plot against me? Jiang Tian stepped on him again and again. His feet fell like raindrops, as if he was doing a ghost dance. Master Pudu's face suddenly became bloody and twisted like a crumpled sanitary napkin. His monk robe was torn, and his face was covered with blood and mud. He was in a sorry state. In the end, Jiang Tian spat on his face and sneered. Shameless, heartless, and deceitful. How dare you call yourself an eminent monk? How nauseating. Bah! Cough. Puff. At this time, Master Pudu was so miserable, and he was so humiliated by Jiang Tian that he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was the abbot of Demon Suppression Temple, one of the three major sects under the Tianqing Palace. He was profound in Buddhist doctrine and had countless believers, among which there was no lack of experts like aristocratic families and city lords. Even Li Longyuan had to treat him politely and rely on him. At this moment, he was beaten up so miserably by Jiang Tian. At this moment, he hated Jiang Tian to the core. He gritted his teeth and said, Kang Te-chu, you have made a terrible mistake. Do you understand? If I don't die tonight, I will settle this score with you. You won't have the chance because you are going to die soon. Jiang Tian said calmly. You want to kill me? Master Pudu was stunned. So what if I kill you? Jiang Tian smiled. Suddenly, Master Pudu lay on the ground and laughed madly. He said coldly, Kang Te-chu, you are too naive. Do you know what the words Devil Suppressing Temple mean here? Do you know what kind of influence I, salvation, have? For thousands of years, anyone, even if they have committed heinous crimes, can join my Demon Suppression Temple and become a Buddha as long as they put down their weapons. Even Li Longyuan can't pursue this matter. For thousands of years, my Demon Suppression Temple has guarded this continent and killed countless demons and devils. Countless monks in the temple have died and are respected by everyone. Therefore, my Demon Suppression Temple has been a great benefactor to thousands of sects and is their shelter. Furthermore, before coming here, this humble monk has already announced to the world that I have come to convert you. I have come to treat your injuries. I have come to protect you. But you killed me. What kind of face did you have in the eyes of the world? Ha! He screamed like an evil spirit. You don't know what's good for you. You repay kindness with ingratitude. You are cruel and unscrupulous. You kill people and destroy sects easily. At that time, no one in the stellar sky domain will be loyal to you. You are deserted by your friends and family, and you are alone. At that time, the world will talk and the cultivator's spittle will drown you alive. At that time, many sects and huge cities in the world will regard you as their mortal enemy. At that time, they will even think that the human race on Earth is so despicable. Invading Earth and cleansing that dirty and despicable world will become the consensus of everyone in Star World. Kang Tae-chu, do you really think I am so stupid? I have made full preparations before I came. Master Pudu became more and more proud as he spoke. Finally, he laughed wildly. The righteousness of the common people and the moral high ground are all occupied by this old monk. I can heal you, convert you with Buddhist techniques, kill you directly, or ambush you. You can't do anything. Do it. Kang Tae-chu, come and kill this old monk. Let's see if you have the guts. Jiang Tian was silent. He looked at the sky and seemed to be thinking. What? Are you scared? Master Pudu laughed complacently like a mad devil and mocked, don't worry. Aren't you called the most powerful person on earth? Aren't you invincible? Even you are at your wits' end. Let me tell you, a brain is a good thing, but you don't have one. Looking at Master Pudu's ferocious and terrifying appearance, Zen Master Deshin felt a chill in his heart. He couldn't believe it. Could it be that this is my venerable and formidable master? Could this be the senior monk who had attained the Tao? Why does he look like a despicable and shameless villain, a devil with evil intentions, and a lunatic? Do you think I don't dare to kill you? Jiang Tian lowered his eyes and smiled faintly. I'm just wondering whether you should be eaten by the big black dog or by Little White. What? Do you really dare to kill me? Master Pudu's face was full of shock and fear. Immortal Master Jiang, please have mercy. All of a sudden, in the sky, numerous flying swords drew out streaks of white turbulence in the air, like streaks of rainbows, as they flew through the air. The leader was Jiang Haishan. Following closely behind was a tall and majestic general in a red robe wearing bright armor. Immortal Master Jiang, this is Shintij, the war god of the wilderness. He is here to deliver a letter of challenge. Jiang Haishan stepped forward quickly and said respectfully. Jiang Tian looked at Shintij, his eyes flickering. This person was at least 300 years old, but he still looked like he was 20 years old. However, he already had the strength of the peak stage of the false core stage, which was even stronger than Fang Jingxiang. Jiang Haishan hesitated for a while and whispered in his ear, Immortal Master Jiang, it has indeed spread outside. Many cultivators admire and praise Master Pudu's righteous act. Please don't kill him in a hurry, lest we lose people's support. Jiang Tian nodded slightly, then turned his head and said calmly, Shintij, what can I do for you? I heard that you want to kill me. Immortal Master Jiang, you are at the second level of the Foundation establishment stage. You are very powerful. I dare not act rashly. Shintij cupped his fists, but there was a hint of mockery in his eyes. He said with a smile, this time, I am here to deliver an invitation letter to my master, Li Longyuan. Oh. Jiang Tian smiled faintly. What was supposed to come was finally coming. Besides, Immortal Master Jiang, I think you'd better let Master Pudu go and stop killing. Shintij glanced at Pudu and said seriously, he healed you for the sake of saving the world. He's here to treat your injuries and resolve a massacre for the people of the world. Why do you have to be so unreasonable and overbearing? In the end, you'll end up being the laughingstock of the world. I'm aggressive. Jiang Tian snorted coldly and said with a disdainful smile, do I need him to heal me? Do I need him to convert me? It's all his own will. Besides, tonight, I saved him and the monks of the demon-subduing temple first, but he attacked me from behind. If I don't kill him, do you think I, Kang Te-chu, am easy to bully? Immortal Master Jiang, do you think anyone will believe you if you say this? Shen Tij smiled bitterly and said unhurriedly, this time, I am here to deliver the invitation letter to the Qingqiu Mountain Festival on behalf of the Heavenly Star Palace, the Giant Sword Sect, the Heartless Sect, Wild Wave City, Floating Spear City, Star Capital City, and many other forces. I believe that with Immortal Master Zhang's wisdom, you should understand what everyone means, right? If you kill Master Pudu at this time, you will become the public enemy of the world. There will be no room for negotiation. As if victory was in his hands, he straightened his body, put his hands behind his back, and said arrogantly, Immortal Master Jiang, why don't you give me face and let Master Pudu go? When the time comes, I can put in a good word for you when the knife is on your neck. Chapter 944. At this time, Bai Zhe smiled slyly and said with his divine sense, Brother Jiang, I'm afraid this is a conspiracy. Even if you let Pudu go, Shen Tij won't speak up for you. He's just a safeguard for Pudu's life. He smirked with a hint of mockery. If you kill Pudu, you'll become the public enemy. But if you don't kill him, you'll feel very aggrieved. Humans are really 100 times more dangerous than demons. We use our sharp claws to harm people, but they use tricks, framing, and sneak attacks. Morality and justice, hee hee. Brother Jiang. At this time, another voice came. It was Ding Lai, the city lord of Star Capital, who came in a carriage. Why are you here? Jiang Tian's expression was strange. In Jiang Tian's plan, Ding Lai was a spy who came to take down the entire Starry Palace during Jiang Tian's final battle. He was probably exposed now that he was here. The lid has been lifted. Li Longyuan has already noticed. Ding Lai smiled bitterly and sighed. Our whole family has been cursed by him. If you don't attend the event, we'll all die. Jiang Tian didn't panic at all. He nodded and said calmly, Don't worry, I'll go. Master Kang, don't go. I'm here to tell you, don't go, save your strength first. Li Longyuan won't dare to kill me. Now he's using conciliatory tactics to win public support. Ding Lai leaned over to Jiang Tian's ear and whispered, But you can't kill Pudu. Because the previous abbot of the demon-subduing temple, Master Shixiang, has come out of seclusion. It's said that he has also cultivated to the golden core stage. If you kill Pudu, you'll have another powerful enemy. Originally, the Starry Palace, the Giant Sword Sect, and several large cities hated you. The demon-subduing temple and many small and medium-sized sects showed a neutral attitude. But if you kill Pudu, plus the demon-subduing temple, the Heartless Sect, and other small and medium-sized forces, you'll really be the enemy of the whole world. At this moment, Master Pudu could be said to have triggered a chain reaction. To put it bluntly, the demon-suppressing temple was secretly controlled by the Heavenly Star Palace. They used the Dharma to paralyze and stabilize the middle and lower classes. But this kind of paralysis and thought control was very successful. Many poor commoners treated the demon-suppressing temple as their savior. They had many supporters and believers. Once Pudu was killed, Jiang Tian would lose the support of the people, which was equivalent to declaring war on the entire Heavenly Star small world. It was no longer just a declaration of war against the Heavenly Star Palace and Li Longyuan. The mastermind behind this scheme had taken advantage of this point. If the devil-suppressing temple got rid of Jiang Tian, then so be it. However, if Jiang Tian decided to deliver salvation and massacre the monks of devil-subduing temple, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. They were merciful, slaying demons and devils, occupying the moral high ground of the world. How could Jiang Tian kill them? Ding Lai explained carefully and then said sincerely, Brother Jiang, bear with it for a while. You should get rid of Li Longyuan first, stabilize the Heavenly Star domain, and then settle the score with the demon-suppressing temple. Shen Tij also crossed his arms and looked at Jiang Tian with a half-smile, his eyes full of mockery. Ding Lai was not stupid, and neither were the others. They all understood that Jiang Tian was now in a dilemma. Seeing Jiang Tian frown slightly, Master Pudu smiled crazily and roared wildly. Kang Te Chu, do you think you are so great? You don't know the insidiousness and wisdom of cultivators. At this moment, his shameless true colors were all exposed. He laughed loudly and said, the humans of the Earth domain are too naive and stupid. Do you think you can kill everyone in the heavenly star small world with your cultivation? You can't. This penniless monk likes to see the look of helplessness on your face when you're unhappy with me. Ha ha ha. Come on, kill me. Oh, as you wish. Jiang Tian nodded indifferently. Suddenly, he swung his sword. Poof! Blood splattered. Master Pudu's bald head flew up and landed on the ground. His eyes were still open, full of shock, astonishment, and unwillingness. It seemed that he could not believe that he had died in such a way. Everyone's faces were filled with shock, and they all revealed looks of disbelief. Kang Te Chu had killed Master Pudu with one move. This was tantamount to committing a crime against the entire world. It was simply making an enemy of the entire small world. Even Shen Tij was shocked. Then, he frowned and said, Kang Te Chu, you really dared to kill him? I dared to kill Li Longyuan, let alone him. Jiang Tian's face was calm, and his eyes were indifferent. Was he threatening Jiang Tian? In the immortal world and the immortal world, he had never taken a step back. He was not afraid of facing a zenith heaven golden immortal or a primordial god, let alone Master Pudu. In the eyes of the world, the Yin sect was unreachable, powerful, and unshakable. But in Jiang Tian's eyes, they were just a bunch of chickens and dogs. A mere perfected foundation establishment bald donkey dared to threaten Kang Te Chu. Did he have a death wish? Fine, fine, fine. Immortal Master Jiang, since you won't give me face, you and I will be mortal enemies when we meet again. Shen Tij gritted his teeth and sneered. Immortal Master Jiang, you're really... Sigh. Ding Lai looked distressed and let out a long sigh. Master Pudu had been killed, and this matter had blown up. Master Pudu was not like the Qing Xian Paozi, Taoist graphite, or Fang Jingqiang. He had too much influence and connections in this world. Since Immortal Master Jiang has such courage, you should dare to accept this invitation. 7 days later, I invite Immortal Master Jiang to Qingqiu Mountain outside Star Capital, by the Raging Waves River, for a grand event. Shen Tij's expression was cold as he took out a gold-inlaid jade talisman invitation and handed it over with both hands. War God Shen, this matter can be discussed slowly. I will personally meet Li Longyuan. Before Jiang Tian could accept it, Ding Lai had already stepped forward and stopped him. This was clearly an invitation to a battle. In fact, many major cities and sects had wanted to kill Jiang Tian for a long time, but Jiang Tian had not officially accepted the challenge. There was still room for negotiation. But Jiang Tian accepting the invitation was equivalent to accepting the challenge. There was no room for negotiation. That was also the reason why Ding Lai had come here to stop Jiang Tian from accepting the challenge. In his opinion, Jiang Tian had no chance of winning at all. But as long as Jiang Tian did not accept the challenge, he would not die. There was still a chance for him to turn the tables. Jiang Tian was very talented. If he avoided the edge and cultivated in seclusion for 20 years, he might be able to overturn the Heavenly Star Palace. Brother Jiang, as long as you don't accept this invitation, I have a way to protect you. Ding Lai looked at Jiang Tian and said in a low voice. Ding Lai also had a lot of influence in the Heavenly Star Palace. His father was the previous generation's law-enforcing elder. Now, several elders were on good terms with him. Moreover, his sister was Li Longyuan's Dao companion. Of course, she was not the mother of the Azure Mystic Sect's Dao disciple, so he did not have any ill feelings toward Jiang Tian. Therefore, there was still room for negotiation. He even thought that he had the ability to make them not attack Jiang Tian. Ha! Immortal Master Jiang is the #1 person on earth. He's the master of the demon cave and even occupies a desolate city. Shen Tij sneered. Immortal Master Jiang won't be reduced to being protected by a woman and a few old men, right? Immortal Master Jiang is now invaded by demonic qi and is seriously injured. His cultivation has dropped greatly, and you want to gang up on him at this time? That's too despicable. Ding Lai heard this and glared angrily. Shen Tij, you are the lord of a city, known as the war god of this world. You are a famous figure. Taking advantage of others' difficulties, despicable and shameless. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by the world? You said that you wanted to destroy Jade Well Peak and kill Immortal Master Jiang. Why didn't you dare to go when Brother Jiang's cultivation was still there? Now you jump out and clamor. Don't you feel embarrassed? Ding Lai, you're about to die, and you still dare to be presumptuous with me. Shen Tij heard this and couldn't help but blush. Then, he shouted angrily out of humiliation. After Jiang Tian defeated Fang Jingxiang, he was indeed a little afraid of Jiang Tian. It was because Miayu challenged Jiang Tian and Jiang Tian didn't dare to meet the enemy. He concluded that Jiang Tian was only at the second level of foundation establishment and his cultivation was damaged. That was why he dared to come out. I'll accept the invitation. I'll definitely be there on time. Jiang Tian waved his right hand and took the invitation. Then, he said calmly, but you have to pass on a message to them for me. What? Wash your neck clean and wait for me to chop it off. Jiang Tian smiled faintly. Jiang Haishan and Ding Lai shook their heads and smiled bitterly. Even if Jiang Tian was infected by the demonic qi and his cultivation had plummeted, he was still so domineering and not weaker than others. But this was also what they admired about Jiang Tian the most. A good man didn't have to compromise for the general interest. Why did he have to act according to other people's wishes? Some people threw away their dignity and groveled for the rest of their lives. They might as well live a day with an indomitable spirit. This was what it meant to be human. Okay, then we'll wait for Immortal Master Jiang's arrival. Shen Tij cupped his fists and stepped onto the flying sword, leading everyone into the sky. The moment he turned around, his face suddenly became gloomy. His eyes were filled with hatred, contempt, and coldness as he gritted his teeth. After tonight, he could be said to hate Jiang Tian to the bone, and wished for nothing more than to eat Jiang Tian's flesh and skin. Jiang Tian killed Master Pudu in front of him, which was tantamount to not taking him seriously. It was tantamount to slapping him in the face. If word got out, everyone would laugh at him. He was the god of war of Heavenly Star Small World, the lord of a giant city, and a legendary figure of a generation. But he couldn't suppress a foundation establishment ant from Earth. Moreover, protecting Master Pudu was also a part of his huge plan. Now that Jiang Tian killed Master Pudu in front of him, even Li Longyuan would think that he was incompetent and look down on him. However, a moment later, Shen Tij grinned smugly. Kang Te-chu, oh Kang Te-chu, how dare you kill Master Pudu? I'll see how long you can be arrogant. Your cultivation was originally only at the second level of foundation establishment. You relied on elixirs, evil magic, and secret methods to forcibly raise your cultivation. I'm afraid you've been seriously injured. Now, with the invasion of the demonic qi, your divine sense is polluted, your dantian is damaged, and your cultivation is almost lost. You killed Master Pudu. Once the Green Hill Grand Meeting is held, you will be the enemy of the whole world, and everyone will want to kill you. The powerhouses of Heavenly Star Small World will tear you to pieces. With so many powerhouses, each of them can stab you to death with a finger. Chapter 945. After Shen Tij left, the monks of the Demon Subduing Temple also collected Master Pudu's body and left. Immortal Master Jiang, don't be rash. There are too many powerful cultivators this time. If Fang Jingxiang was still alive, he wouldn't even be ranked among them. Zen Master Dexin bowed to Jiang Tian and said in a deep voice. Jiang Tian nodded and said, Dashin, you have Buddha nature, but you're surrounded by fake monks. You can go outside and take a look to increase your experience. Thank you for your guidance, Immortal Master Jiang. Zen Master Dashin looked confused and hurried away. Kang Te-chu, you killed Abbot Pudu. Our demon-subduing temple must avenge this great hatred. We'll wait for you at the Green Hill Grand Meeting. We'll tear you into pieces then. However, except for Zen Master Dashin, everyone looked at Jiang Tian with anger and resentment. Their hearts were full of hatred. Jiang Tian's expression was indifferent and disdainful. Humans were like this. They feared power but did not care about virtue. When these monks faced the tree demon, they were so scared that their souls left their bodies. They covered their heads and fled like rats. However, when facing Jiang Tian, they felt that Jiang Tian's cultivation had dissipated and that he was no longer a threat, so they dared to be presumptuous. When the monks of the demon-subduing temple carried Master Pudu's body out of the demon cave mountain and walked all the way to the demon-subduing temple, they accused Jiang Tian of heinous crimes. Everyone was shocked and could not believe it. The entire heavenly star's small world was like a ladle of cold water poured into a hot oil pan. It was completely boiling. Kang Te-chu actually attacked Zen Master Pudu. Zen Master Pudu was trying to heal his injuries and convert him. I never expected Kang Te-chu to be so fierce. He repaid kindness with ingratitude. He's inhumane. This guy is too terrifying. He can be called a devil. We must eliminate him. We can't let him live. After all, Master Pudu had always been an eminent monk. He had once roamed the world, slaying demons and devils, guarding the vicissitudes of the righteous path in the world. He had once practiced medicine to help the world, using the boundless Dharma to deliver all living beings from torment, treating the poor people. He advised people to do good and resolved many grudges and killings. He told people to lay down their weapons and become Buddhas. He had formed many good karma. Many people had committed heinous crimes, and he would plead on their behalf, stepping out to protect them. Most importantly, Master Pudu had gone there to resolve Jiang Tian's sin of killing and to heal Jiang Tian's injuries. It could be said that he had delivered charcoal in snowy weather. But Jiang Tian actually killed him. Actually, there was a reason why Master Immortal Jiang took action. Monk De Xian couldn't take it anymore and wanted to explain to everyone. Pa! A monk sent him flying with a slap and berated loudly, De Xian, you are speaking up for the devil path. Do you want to become a devil too? Aren't you going to avenge Master? Master wanted to form a good relationship with him and save his life, but he ambushed and killed Master. He repaid kindness with ingratitude. De Xian, you don't deserve to be a monk of the demon-subduing temple. Get lost. A few monks flipped him to the ground and tore off his identity certificate, prayer beads, and even his monk robes and pants. Monk De Xian stood on the street in a pair of large underpants, trembling. He stared blankly at the monks, unable to continue reading the Buddhist scriptures in his heart. How could Kang Te-chu do such a thing? Some of the martial artists and cultivators who supported Jiang Tian couldn't believe it when they heard the news. Kang Te-chu, you claim to be the #1 person on earth in vain. Master Pudu wanted to expiate your sins and treat your internal injuries to save your life, but you killed him. How disgusting. At this moment, merciless Sex Miayu denounced Jiang Tian in public, full of hatred. Do you still believe him now? I said that he is a person who fishes for fame. Do you still not believe me? Then, Shen Tij also confirmed this and claimed that he had tried to persuade him, but he couldn't stop him. Kang Te-chu was no match for Master Pudu at first. Master Pudu had been seriously injured in order to kill a monster, so Kang Te-chu took advantage of the situation to sneak an attack. If the words of the monks of the demon-subduing temple were only one-sided, then the words of the two sect masters were equivalent to official propaganda. Master Ashen Pine, the sect master of the Giant Sword sect, also spoke with righteous indignation. Kang Te-chu, my junior brother, Taoist Graphite, killed the blue-eye toad and saved your life. I didn't expect you to kill him and steal his treasure. As he spoke, many people suddenly realized that the blue-eyed toad had been killed by Taoist graphite. Humans on Earth are like beasts. Those who are not of our kind must have a different heart. Those who are strong are bandits. Those who are weak are humble and don't care about kindness. The vice sect master of the giant sword sect said with disdain. That's right. Earth is too backward. It's like a primitive world where beasts run wild. Everyone has the face of a human but the heart of a beast. If they are not complacent, it will backfire and cause harm. Someone immediately agreed. In fact, many of the upper and middle class of the Heavenly Star's small world despised Earth. It was as if their homeland was just a ruin and a livestock farm. As the saying goes, public opinion can distort gold. If a lie was told 10,000 times, it would become true. What's more, those who said these words were some famous big shots in the Heavenly Star. Kang Tae-chu is even more ferocious than Li Longyuan. If he controls the Heavenly Star domain, I'm afraid we will be even more miserable than before. Despicable villain. We can't support him. Supporting him is inviting a wolf into the house. Our Rumbling Sky mercenary group, from today onwards, will withdraw from the Demon Cave Mountain Volunteer Army and cut all ties with Kang Tae-chu. This time, even some of Jiang Tian's supporters were shaken. Some even directly changed sides. In the Giant Sword sect, several big shots of the Heavenly Star domain gathered to conspire. Master Ashen Pine sneered and said disdainfully, "This Kang Tae-chu's reputation is completely ruined. We can kill him however we want." That's right. Shen Tej smiled and said, "Actually, there's nothing to be afraid of about Kang Tae-chu. However, this kind of free and undisciplined thinking is too scary. Once it spreads, the country will no longer be a country. Now that Palace Lord Li Longyuan has offended the lower and middle class for this world, we must stabilize." Fortunately, Kang Tae-chu has fallen into our trap step by step. The leader of the Feather Guard, Li Zixing, snorted. Before this, if we had killed him at the meeting of the Green Mountains, there would definitely be people who would say that we bullied a junior of the Foundation establishment who had lost all his cultivation for revenge. But now, who cares? Even if we gang up and attack them, no one will say anything. They will only clap and cheer. Morality is already on our side. Master Ashen Pine sipped his tea and said calmly. He's just a little kid from Earth. This poor Taoist has eaten more salt than the rice he has eaten. When it comes to scheming, he's too far behind us. The feather uniform guard Li Zixing's face suddenly turned serious as he asked, "City Lord Shen, has Kang Tae-chu really lost all his cultivation?" "More or less." Shen Tej frowned and pondered for a while before mocking. "I didn't expect him to go to the Red Thunder Mountain and be infected with demonic aura when he's only at the second stage Foundation establishment realm. That demonic aura might have come from the great immortal demon war of the Heavenly Gods sect or even before that. It's very vicious. Now, his divine sense is in chaos, and his Dantian is lifeless. I'm afraid he can't use any of his abilities. What right does he have to fight with us? Just wait for death." Everyone present burst into laughter as if Jiang Tian was a soft persimmon that they could pinch. While these enemies and opponents were waiting to see Jiang Tian make a fool of himself. Jiang Tian had already started his second seclusion in the Red Thunder Mountain. Chu Yunxiu took advantage of the chaos to run away, and Jiang Tian was too lazy to care about her. Anyway, she couldn't make any big waves. Jiang Tian asked Jiang Haishan and Ding Lai to bring Qiao Yingluo back to Jadewell Peak. According to Jiang Tian's instructions, the rebel army was directly dismissed, and the main backbone hid their identities to preserve their strength. Now, Li Longyuan clearly wanted to use the name of the vicissitudes of the righteous path to have a peak confrontation. Killing him alone wouldn't affect the others. Because Li Longyuan was also afraid that suppressing the rebel army would cause a backlash from the bottom. In that case, Jiang Tian wouldn't borrow the power of the rebel army. The rebel army was already useless. "Big brother Jiang, what should we do?" Now, There are many people outside who want to kill you. When they parted, Xiao Yinglue was very reluctant. She wanted to stay behind to protect Jiang Tian and help Jiang Tian heal and break through. It's okay. Go back quickly. Actually, I'm not injured. The demonic aura won't affect me much. Jiang Tian touched her little head and chuckled. Then you must take care. If you haven't recovered, don't go to the appointment. Xiao Yinglue reminded him again and again, looking back 3 times with every step. In the end, she was still taken away by Jiang Haishan and Ding Lai. In this way, only Jiang Tian, Yi Tianren, the old dragon, and the demon king Baizhe were left in Crimson Thunder Mountain. While he's in seclusion, I'll secretly kill him. Then, I'll grind away the magical power and divine sense on the feather robe and star crown, and he'll become my treasure. Big Demon Baizhe's eyes turned, and a plan came to his mind. He secretly gritted his teeth. Celestial, old dragon, I'll teach you the method to control the feather robe and star crown. Jiang Tian said with a smile. Yes. Yi Tianren bowed and cupped his fists. Little White, be obedient and be my little brother. The old dragon was very excited. He touched Baizhe's head with his big claws and laughed. Don't compete with me in the future, or I'll make you lick my toes. This despicable thief is really cunning. Baizhe glared at Jiang Tian fiercely and was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Also, who wants to compete with you? How can I be a slave? You useless black dog. Jiang Tian transmitted his divine sense and quickly taught the old dragon and Yi Tianren the method to control the feather robe and star crown, so that they could control Baizhe at any time. In this way, Jiang Tian could go into seclusion in peace, and Baizhe also became Jiang Tian's guard. Everything was ready. Jiang Tian sat cross-legged on the top of Crimson Thunder Mountain and first used the great imperial demon art to refine the demonic qi in his mind. Whoosh! The latter was quickly refined by Jiang Tian and became part of Jiang Tian's divine sense. Now, Jiang Tian's divine sense had been divided into 4. In the Naiwan Palace in the middle of his forehead, the divine sense of his main body was rippling like a vast golden lake. The second primordial spirit sat in it like a golden body dharma form. The soul devourer's divine sense was like black glue floating around the golden body dharma form. The demonic qi and demonic will that had just been absorbed floated around the second primordial spirit like a black fog. As the cultivation technique was activated, Jiang Tian suddenly had a demonic nature. A demon gradually appeared behind Jiang Tian's head. Chapter 946. This demon had the body of a snake and the head of a human. It had 8 arms, and its face was very similar to Jiang Tian's. However, it was extremely ferocious and terrifying. It continued to expand and rose from the ground. Eventually, it became taller and bigger until it was over 100 feet tall. Its body reached into the depths of the clouds and into the rolling sea of thunder. These demonic thoughts had destructive power. They specialized in polluting Dharma treasures and immortal artifacts, disintegrating Dharma treasures and destroying other people's divine sense. A drop of demonic thoughts could obliterate the divine soul and easily kill a foundation establishment stage expert. Moreover, it had condensed a physical body and was very powerful, comparable to a golden core stage expert. When it manifested, heaven and earth were restless. Spirit chi and miasma surged like tides, lightning flashed and thunder roared. However, even if the bucket-sized thunder and lightning kept striking, it did not collapse at all. The surrounding demonic beasts comparable to foundation establishment and false core stage experts were frightened and ran in all directions. Some even hugged their heads and crawled on the ground, shivering like quails in the cold wind. Oh my God, isn't this the demon that fought with the God of God? Why is he manifested? Seeing this, Baizhe was so scared that his face turned pale. His whole body trembled and he could not wait to run away. After all, this demon was a terrifying existence that could crush the God of God. He had also tortured him and left a serious psychological shadow. However, This mass of demonic thoughts and demonic chi was completely controlled by Jiang Tian's demonic technique. Under Jiang Tian's command, it immediately retracted into his mind. This kid is simply heaven-defying and terrifying. Sensing Jiang Tian's change, Great Monster Bai Zai's heart palpitated. Who said that Earth was easy to bully? It was simply terrifying. It was so terrifying that it was insane. One had to know that the tree demon was originally a figure of the same generation as the god of God. He was powerful and his demonic techniques were heavenly. However, he could not refine the demonic chi and demonic thoughts. He was eroded by the demonic chi and demonic thoughts until he was cruel and bloodthirsty. In the end, he became the scourge of this continent. But now, this 20-year-old kid was able to refine the demonic chi and control it freely in a few hours. It was too terrifying. He did not know that the Great Imperial Demonic Technique was originally created by Jiang Tian when he attacked the Devil World. The idea behind this cultivation method was to use the devil to subdue the devil. In order to exterminate the devil, one must first become a devil, or even a devil among devils. Relying on this technique, Jiang Tian had once swept through several devil realms, and no one knew how many devil lords had been killed and refined by Jiang Tian with this technique. As for the devil chi and devil will on the tree demon, without the support of the devil head's blood essence, it had been eroded for tens of thousands of years and was very weak. If Jiang Tian wanted to devour and refine it, it would be a matter of seconds. After refining the devil chi and devil will into a devil with the body of a snake, Jiang Tian suddenly felt his mind clear up, and his spiritual sense was even stronger than before. At present, Jiang Tian's consciousness already had 4 parts. The main body's consciousness, the second primordial spirit, the soul devourer's consciousness, and the snake devil. Every single one of them was abnormally powerful and could cooperate with each other, combining and changing at will. It far surpassed the divine sense of a golden core cultivator. Alright, it's time to use the whirling divine tree to transform my wood elemental divine body. 7 days should be enough. The corners of Jiang Tian's mouth curled into a smile. Then, he patted the vessel nurturing gourd at his waist, and a crystal-clear piece of wood jumped out like an emerald. This piece of wood was only the size of an egg. It was crystal clear, flowing with colorful lights, and emitted a magical aura, like green tentacles wriggling around. The green tentacles were verdant and had a vigorous aura of life. When it wriggled to Great Demon Bai Zai's body, suddenly, there was a soft pop sound on Great Demon Bai Zai's head, and a green sprout emerged. Why is there a green leaf on my head? Great Demon Bai Zai held the leaf in his hand. But suddenly, roots quickly emerged from the green leaf. The roots grabbed the ground and kept getting thicker and bigger. At the same time, the green leaf rapidly swelled, sprouting branches and green leaves crazily growing out of it. This vitality, Great Demon Bai Zai was dumbfounded. Suddenly, whoosh! Whoosh! The original green leaf turned into a tree in the blink of an eye, reaching 100 meters tall and hanging Bai Zai on it. Immortal! Immortal Master Jiang, what is that in your hand? Bai Zai looked down in horror. He saw that Jiang Tian was surrounded by a green aura, and all the plants were growing crazily. The originally thin vines became as thick as buckets, swaying in the air like giant pythons, and the green grass became hacksaws. Many trees rose from the ground, becoming thicker and bigger, like giant umbrellas covering the sky. Even the seeds deep in the soil and the decaying dead trees on the ground grew green leaves. This is the demonic core of the tree demon. But it has already refined the fiend chi, and it's all pure vitality. Jiang Tian said lightly. The demonic core of the tree demon? It shouldn't have such terrifying vitality. Great Demon Bai Zai jumped down and said in confusion. Because this is a whirling divine tree, a tree that can produce wood-type plants on a planet. Jiang Tian said with a smile. Whirling divine tree. Great Demon Bai Zai exclaimed, his eyes full of shock and envy. This tree demon is actually a whirling divine tree under the fiend chi. A whirling divine tree that can create a planet or even a world. Can you give me a little? The greater demon Baize's saliva almost flowed out as he pleaded with a pitiful expression. You know what's good for you. Jiang Tian sneered and activated the transcending 9 transformation art. Surging true essence condensed into a furnace in front of Jiang Tian's chest, enveloping the spirit wood demon core and refining it. The green spirit wood demon core suddenly turned into a green trickle, like tentacles, and rushed towards Jiang Tian's dantian. At the same time, there was also a significant change in Jiang Tian's sea of vital energy. On the vast plain of heptagold metal block array, on the shore of the lake where the mystic water surged, a small seedling with the image of a whirling divine tree began to grow slowly. At this moment, Jiang Tian's skin, eyebrows, hair, and even eyes began to emit rays of green light. Gradually, his entire body became crystal clear, overflowing with light and color. The chi of the whirling divine tree was extremely vast, filling and nourishing every cell of Jiang Tian, transforming him in the direction of the whirling divine tree body. The heptagold metal block array in his dantian was covered with a layer of green chi, like a carpet of green grass. A giant azure dragon rose from the undulating mystic water lake. Its scales were dense and extraordinary, and it opened its mouth to spray mystic water on the whirling divine tree seedling. The whirling divine tree's chi was exuberant and extremely dense. Its roots grew crazily and firmly grasped the heptagold metal block array like a dragon's claw, constantly transforming the spirit chi of the divine tree and the mystic water true essence into wood true essence. Even the heptagold metal and thunder true essence were transformed into wood true essence. The whirling divine tree's trunk gradually became thicker, its branches and leaves luxuriant, and it became a towering tree. Even the purple lightning eyes in the depths of his eyes gradually became more solid, and his strength increased by several times. The Transcendent 9 transformation art was to use the Tao of elemental creation and destruction to refine the 9 transformation chaotic divine body that surpassed ordinary divine bodies. At that time, once the chaotic physique was completed, the 9 types of elements and 9 types of physiques would circulate endlessly and would never dry up, becoming one of the strongest physiques in the universe. While Jiang Tian was cultivating in seclusion in the Crimson Thunder Mountain to achieve the transformation of the Azure Dragon Mystic Water Divine Body into the Whirling Divine Tree Body, a piece of news swept across the universe like a hurricane, spreading throughout the heavenly star small world, making people dumbfounded and in disbelief. Kang Tae-chu will go to the Green Hill meeting in 7 days to meet the palace master of the Heavenly Star Palace, Li Longyuan. Originally, in the Heavenly Star small world, the Heavenly Star Palace suppressed thousands of sects and factions and whipped the world, making many people hate it to the bone. Jiang Tian, the Qing Xian Daozi, destroyed the army of the desolate border. Many people even applauded and supported it. However, since Jiang Tian met Master Pudu, everything changed. Countless people were filled with righteous indignation. They thought that Jiang Tian was not there to kill Li Longyuan, but to become enemies with all the major forces and wanted to destroy the entire Heavenly Star small world. In addition, some people fanned the flames. Some of Jiang Tian's supporters also changed sides and announced to the world that they were drawing a clear line with Jiang Tian. Sigh, I didn't expect him to be a despicable and shameless demon king with such thick eyebrows and big eyes. The leader of the Flying Rainbow Bounty the Hunters felt like his idol had been destroyed and was very unhappy. Kang Tae-chu dared to kill Master Pudu. We must kill him. Many people united with a common enemy and wanted to trample this ant from the lower domain who dared to provoke the Heavenly Star domain to death. What is he going to do at the Green Hill meeting? Is he going to die? Many people mocked Jiang Tian's actions and thought that Jiang Tian was digging his own grave. Back then, when Miayu went to challenge him at the Jade Well Peak, he admitted that he was at the second level of the Foundation establishment realm and ran away. The sect leader of the Serpent Desire sect said disdainfully. Later, I heard from the eminent monks of the Demon Subduing Temple that his demonic chi had invaded his body and severely damaged his divine sense and dantian. I'm afraid that his cultivation has been destroyed and he has become a useless person. Isn't he going to die? This person must be going there to ask for forgiveness. The old cultivator of the Li River Sword sect smiled bitterly. Maybe he has a special secret method to increase his cultivation and combat power so that he can last a little longer. But in the battle with Fang Jingqiang, he was already at the end of his rope. Now that he has suffered so much, I'm afraid that he doesn't even have the cultivation of the Foundation establishment realm. Now, other than asking for forgiveness, what else can he do? Everyone thought so and nodded in agreement. Sigh, Kang Taechu is willing to take on this disaster alone for the safety of the Earth realm. He is indeed merciful. Master Yuan Jing of the Prajna Temple seemed to admire Jiang Tian very much as he commented. Although Kang Taechu is definitely going to die, we still have to go and cheer for the Heavenly Star Palace. After all, when he came to the Heavenly Star Domain, he killed Daoist Graphite, Fang Jingqiang, and many other experts. We have to come out and reprimand Kang Taechu to show that the Heavenly Star Domain is superior and not something that the ants of Earth can provoke. Some of the older generation sect masters suggested this. Yes, we have to go and witness this. Countless cultivators and experts rushed from all directions to Wild Wave City and Qingqiu Mountain. Kang Taechu asking for forgiveness and the Heavenly Star Palace killing the number one person of the Earth realm was a matter of great importance. It represented the complete suppression of the Heavenly Star small world over the Earth realm, and it would even go down in history. Who didn't want to watch this show?